Okay, there it is now.
There. What up, peeps? What up? You know what I'm doing? I'm getting the audio version ready here, and then we'll greet you all properly if there's anybody there.
Guys, I finally saw the Snake Eyes trailer.
Oh yeah, what'd you think?
Yeah, it looks pretty damn good. Yeah.
We checked out Quiet Place yesterday too.
Did you?
Yeah, man, I was super impressed.
Yeah,
I was like, this man knows how to make a movie. Let me tell you.
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping they keep the same Storm Shadow from the the old movie.
Yeah. That guy had a really great look.
Badass,
yeah, he had a really good look.
I think she actually turned down the role of I think it's Captain Marvel to do that movie.
The Quiet Place?
Yeah.
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt. Yeah.
I wonder if people would have liked her better than they would have liked. Seemed like everybody hated Brie Larson.
Yeah.
I still can't get why. I thought she was all right.
I thought it was totally fine. So yeah.
I think it's actress herself.
I mean, a lot of people were saying too that that's how the character is in the book. I haven't read a lot of Captain Marvel, but they're she's kind of cold and standoffish, and I won't say bitchy, but kind of
blunt.
Yeah. So I was like, okay.
Not
on this one yet. Do you want to get one?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Nene's in the house.
What is up, Friday Nighters? Welcome back to another episode of Just Another Friday Night on, in fact, Just Another Friday Night. I am one of your two hosts, CM Chuck. Alongside me, as always, my partner, Double A, Adamantium Adam.
What's up, everyone?
And the man in the middle tonight, guys, we haven't had a guest in a while, but this is Mr. Gabriel Flores. We're going to call him Gabe tonight, and we're going to find out that he is, in fact, glamorizing Gabe, as I'm going to start to call him now. Whether he likes it or not, probably not so much. Gabe, say hello to everyone out there.
What's up, everybody?
Guys, you know how we do things here. We're going to take this first little bit of minutes to kind of chat with you guys, welcome you, say hello, and then we're going to, after the first 30 minutes of that, maybe even less, maybe 15, get right into the topic depending on who is all in the house. So let's see who's here right now. Andrew Edward Benitez, aka Frickin' Nene,
honored by his presence.
Yes, thank you so much for being in the house, Nene. Or as now he's just being angel and so dangerous.
Okay.
So man, what's up? 3 twerk for 1 minute with straight. Okay, yeah, man, share this live and I'll twerk for you. You know what I mean? Hey, what's up, man? Are you going to get me on that new vid? We're going to do the death of Chuckles and the rise of a new character, man. And we don't want to catch these hands. You know what I mean? Chuckles. So, guys, go check out Funny Nene 86. No, Funny Nene 89. Excuse me. On TikTok. Nene, drop your stuff in there, man. This guy over 500K followers on TikTok, man, killing it in the game on TikTok. Yeah, super awesome. He's gotten likes from George Lopez, likes from Chris Pettis, Selena's ex. That's what he is, right? I don't even have to call him that. I mean, you know. Steve is in the house. Cheers, Steve. Steve, I'm just drinking some water tonight in my Eggo bottle. My Eggo. Not getting any money from Eggo again. I don't know why. But also, I got my own.
Just another Friday night.
Another Friday night podcast. Got my own logo on here. Who else we got in the house? Amy in the house says, "Hi, familia. What's up, sis? How you doing?" Nene tagged Anthony, who's not here yet. Anthony, where are you at, man? What's up? Tony B, get in the house, brother. Tonight, Nene says he'll be at 700K followers, a couple of hours, because he's super dangerous. Awesome, man. Well, hey, hook a brother up with some light. Wear one of our t-shirts on your. I'll cut it up like
send them to our YouTube. And tell them to subscribe.
We'll get Angel a Just Another Friday Night shirt. You know what I mean?
Need like 48 more. So.
Yeah, we're hurting on the YouTube.
We're not asking for 100,000. We're asking for 48.
48 would be good with us, man. So just throw a tag for me on there. Roxanne. Roxy in the house. Hi, guys. Hi, Roxy.
She is very hung, she said.
Nice. Guys, what's going on in the week, man? Gabe, tell us, how was your week, man? We were all at Dale Ekman's Card Comic and is it Card Comic and Toy Show? What is the exact name? Card Comic Collectible Show.
But I mean, it was just great to get back out there again.
It was.
To go digging. I love digging for books.
I was gonna say your first show in a while.
Yeah, in a while.
Pre-pandemic. Yeah, us too. We hadn't gone anywhere.
The rest of the time, I was just hanging out at Mario's shop, bugging him.
Right. Yeah. You guys may recognize Gabe from the old. We know you would always be promoting Mario Delgado and his store Authority Comics that was inside Traders Village. If you caught him on a really busy day, especially if you caught him on that last weekend, you saw this man behind the counter there helping Mario out, doing the big closeout. But alas, now we know Mario is gone. But however, these two still remain friends and work together, as we all still reach out to Mario when we have comic book needs.
I still did. I just purchased 3 comics from him.
I'm in the process of purchasing 1. I haven't gotten it. Haven't closed the deal yet, but we're gonna get to that. We'll show you guys that next week, and then we'll be talking to Gabe about him and see maybe we need his services, and we'll talk more about that.
But yeah, it was a great Saturday. It was exactly what I wanted. I bought a big old stack for about $55.
I spent about the same. I didn't get that many for 55. I got
about $55. And I met I met a vendor who says he's at Bussey's. That's where I got like about 20 of those. He hangs out at Bussey's, so
I haven't made it out there yet.
Yeah. I didn't know he was out there, and that's where I picked up a lot of those issues. The Going Sane, the Crystar, the Danzig logo. Nice. That's where I got that for $1. Nice. So he was like, I'm at Bussey's. I'm there every weekend. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go check you out.
If I'm not busy and it's early in the morning, I might ride out there with you, man. Check it out.
So
Steve says, happy Memorial Day weekend. Same to you, sir. Happy Memorial Day weekend. And to everyone, happy Memorial Day weekend. If you're getting off Monday, that's great.
Hope you guys have a great weekend.
Yeah. Remember what it's all about, guys, too. Celebrating those that we lost. We're always big on the armed services here at Just Another Friday Night. Rock says, watch it for a second, but she's at the Bang Bang Bar. Great, Rox. Plug us into the central network there at Bang Bang Bar. Shoot the show out, right, everybody. And big shout out. If you guys ever want to see Foxy Roxy, you can catch her sometimes over at the Bang Bang Bar on El Mio Street. Is it El Mio Street? Do I have the street right? But off of San Pedro is how I always think about it, by the green tire shop that's got Ginobili on the side. So that's pretty cool. Can y'all please twerk now? Share this video so keep your word, or I'm gonna get mad. No, I don't think I can. It won't work in here. I'll knock all this stuff over. But I owe you a twerk, and then I'll get it on there for you. I'll twerk a little bit like this. It's like I'm having a seizure, kind of. You know what I mean? So, man, I appreciate you, Nene. Seriously, brother, really do. You're doing great, big things, and we can look forward to more coming from you. Guys, get out there. Don't they have some contests out there for best say influencer or something like that? Y'all need to write in Andrew Edward Benitez, Nene, and get him on there on Instagram influencer, or whatever it is they have out there on that, because I don't know how many San Antonians are TikToking that are over 700K except this man. So getting the work done. He was out at the beach and he got some new Angel Dangerous merch. Go check that out from him and buy some of that stuff. It's pretty cool, man. I mean, we need to put our faces on a t-shirt. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
It might drive the sales down. We don't know. We don't want to. We're trying to keep the sales up here. You know what I mean? So, guys, but yeah. So we were all out at Ekman's. Gabe, did you pick up some good stuff?
Yeah, I did. I found a lot of good stuff digging through people's boxes. I think with the market the way it is and books jumping up so fast that people just don't have the time to dig and price everything as it should be. Right. And that's where people like me and you guys, come in and we swoop in and pick up what we can for cheap.
Yeah. It's easy to get caught up, and this happens to me all the time, is that I'm walking around and I'm looking and I get caught up in like looking at the toys or the statues and big things like that, because
you found the Funko Pop that you were looking for.
Yeah. I found some stuff. I was with the Scarlet Witch from the new WandaVision
which
show.
Is super hot, right?
The Hot Topic is sold out, so it was the exclusive there. Like I was literally talking to his older brother and our friend Jack, who's been on the show. And I was looking at when I was about to grab it, it sold right in front of me, and I had to look to the right, and another guy had two, and I went and I said, I'll come back to you guys. I went and got that one real quick because I was like, shit, is this going like that? But what we love most is getting into the big long boxes of comic books, and this is the part that can take forever, and you're just flipping books, man, and you're going through, and it helps if you have a mind like one of these two that remembers and recognizes things that are key issues, what is on the cover, you know what I mean? So that is going to be monumental if you're trying to create a collection that has value to it or whatever. Marcella is in the house. She says twerk, wanting a lot of twerking. Guys, I truly tell you, I would happily twerk for you. This room right here, there will be the computer will go down. It won't be good. It won't be good.
Are you saying you're gonna break the internet?
I was gonna say that would be that and maybe some of the things in this room, which would be bad. This equipment is all we have.
I picked up I'm a big collector of the What Ifs. And with the TV series too, series. It's probably these are probably going to get more expensive too. So,
so what are those covers? AA.
This one is What If the Kingpin owned Daredevil?
Oh,
so
nice.
Daredevil's like his protector.
Nice. He sells out.
What if the Punisher didn't have his family killed?
And that changes the whole story.
What if the Punisher became an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Very nice.
He looks really cool.
Very nice.
Dressed up as an agent.
Very cool, man. Those are great issues, man. And those look pretty good too. They look like they're in solid shape.
Yeah, they're $1 too. That's where I got. Here's another one. If Strife killed the X-Men. Very nice. Some Marvel Comic Presents. Oh, and then this one I picked up for any of you heavy metal people. This issue is famous for the first appearance of the Danzig logo.
Nice. You ever seen that giant belt buckle Danzig wears? It comes off right here,
right in this fucking obscure issue I've never heard of before. So
sincere thanks to Nene for sharing. Unfortunately, our show is not as torque heavy as his programming is, or rated X. We do have some children watching, so it might not be good. These two men are dads here, you know what I mean? So proud dads. But we do appreciate the invite, guys, to do so. So, and Nene does say he wants to punish us. Is it?
No. He said, "Fuck the Punisher. I want you to punish me."
That's what he says. Okay, well then that's a whole nother episode. We need to get a podcast just for Nene.
No, that's a whole nother show.
That's a whole nother show. Yeah,
that might Chuckles.
Be after hours. You know what I mean? We'll call that late night. You know what I mean? So, guys, we seriously appreciate you guys all being here on the Friday before Memorial Day weekend. We know a lot of people are probably out getting stuff, going to the movies. Have you been to the movies, Gabe? Since
I have not been to the movies in a long time, and not just because of COVID.
There's nothing been out.
Nothing, and of course, with now now you can just watch everything on TV.
Right, they're giving it to you. Right,
exactly. So
makes it tough. Makes it tough.
To me, I feel a lot more comfortable being at home. I can eat as much as I want. I don't have to get dressed. I can put my feet up. I got my dogs in my lap. We're sharing our popcorn. To me, that's a lot better night than actually being out.
Yeah, man.
Being at the movies.
Totally. I get it. I went for my first time last night in probably over a year. Wow. Saw A Quiet Place 2. I won't get too much into it other than to say that
I want to see it.
Yeah, dude. I want to see it. If you were going to make an experience to me, I was like, I'm glad I saw this here.
Yeah.
And for me, I feel almost I feel on the fence because I love the movie theater. That's always been like my favorite thing to do, going to the movies. And it felt neat to be back. And there was all this, the opening of the they normally got the previews and they had that, of course, but there was a lot of little messages from a lot of the creators kind of saying, thanks for coming back to the theater, you know what I mean? And including John Krasinski, who wrote and directed.
Did you stay for the Q&A?
No, that was at the end.
Yeah.
No, I didn't even see that. Okay. No, wow. Well, I missed
there you
out.
go. Didn't you learn anything from Marvel?
Exactly.
You always stay.
Well, no. It's not like extra scene. It's just it was a live Q&A.
Really? I had no idea.
Did it not come out on yours?
No, it didn't come out on ours. Maybe we were at an earlier showing, so maybe that's why it didn't happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But what about you guys out there? Have you guys gone to see A Quiet Place 2? Have you gone out to the movies? If so, what was your experience like? Mine very good. We had our whole row to ourselves. It's like it's kind of neat because it's like it's still kind of empty. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's selling out, at least at that time, which I went to a 6 o'clock show.
I think the best part about going to the movie theater was I've got 3 kids. So we always used to make an event of it. Like, hey, this new movie's coming out, let's all go watch it. And that was the best part to me.
Totally.
My kids are getting older. They're getting to the point where dad's not cool anymore.
No way, Gabe.
My son's always on Call of Duty or doing something else.
Right.
So I enjoy those times where I get to spend it with them and we get to be together and laugh and do everything as a family.
Yeah, so, man, that's always super.
That was
super
the best part about it.
Yeah. Now, are there certain things that you guys will like? It's like a Marvel movie. Like, it's like that's a must. Like, we're all gonna pile up and go see that.
It is, yeah.
Cool.
We don't watch it separately. We're like, hey, there's movies coming out. Don't spoil. They're all about don't spoil it. I don't care. You can tell me the entire story, and I'm still gonna want to watch it. If not, more, just because I know what's gonna happen now. But it's an event for us. We love doing things like that.
That's great, man. I mean, like that's what I think I remember like most too about being little and going to the movies. It's like you had to go with your parents because you couldn't get there or you couldn't pay for it. And so when you did it, it was like really like like an event, like a thing, like a night out. You know what I mean?
I got 2 older brothers, 2 younger sisters. So going to the movies was few and far between when we were younger.
Yeah.
So we went. It was like a big deal. So I'd love to be able to do that now with my kids and offer something that.
And the bigger family you have too, the more expensive it is. We all know that in front of us, the row in front of us, it was a dad and a mom, and they had about 3 or 4. Some of them were kind of little. I was a little worried. I was like, oh man, it's going to get intense for them. Man, these kids were like, they were desensitized like a mug. They were quiet the whole time. And I was like, man, what? They didn't get scared, no jump scares. I was like, oh, these kids they're in the mix, man. They knew what was up.
They're probably playing Mortal Kombat when they're at home.
Oh yeah, totally. Nene says, can I take you out of the movies? If you're paying, Nene, we're there, brother. Nene, I'm really happy, bro. It's the longest you spent with us on a live, man. Right now, you're making me famous right now. I really appreciate it, man. Nene, tell us, when is the next Angel video drop in, brother? We want to see. I know you've been doing the prank videos, man. This stuff's been great, man. I can't get enough. Videos. Yeah, this guy, you love him, man. He's local. I'll hit you up with a link, or whatever. But I'll get you one new follower at least tonight, Nene. That's a promise, brother. Sure. So, guys, we brought in Gabe for what?
No, I was gonna say too, and I don't know if any of you wrestling fans are there, but WWE is coming August 16th.
That's right. That is
they're going to start touring too in June, July. AEW too. Concerts are coming out. Alice Cooper, I'm probably going to go out and see him.
Nice.
I think in October.
Very nice. So very nice. That's one I haven't seen. I'd like to see Alice Cooper. I just bought my tickets to.
In this moment.
Yeah. That's one of my lady's favorite bands, and she got me into really loving them, and they put on a badass show, man. Really badass. It's like a production. Like, it's not just like them singing in black leather. It's like, no, she does, like, she's got like chicks dressed as nuns and like candelabras and like blood. It's like it's really cool, and she's an amazing singer as well. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Gabe, you get into the wrestling at all? You do that at all?
Oh yeah. I've always been a wrestling fan, and when my son was a little younger, he's about 12 now, so when he was younger, he was really into it. We used to go to the, to Hell in the Cell and everything that came in. And, I'd save up just so we could get those front row seats. I could make it awesome for him,
Yeah. Nice.
But, now he's kind of just wavered off a little bit. It's not, I don't watch it as much as I used to. Right. But we still catch it.
That's cool. The product has changed too. It's not like what it once was, but it's kind of the same thing with me and my dad. He'll come into our house on the weekends and hang out. And he's been there right now because he's been recovering. But he's, if it's on, when we have it at both the living room, we'll check out like a little bit, see what's going on, and if it can keep our interest.
The autobiographies have been great. We've been watching those.
I keep hearing about it. I haven't seen any yet.
We've been watching, instead of actually watching wrestling and the matches, I've been watching the autobiographies of my son, and they're awesome, and it really gets you into the minds of the people who are playing these characters, and it makes you appreciate them a lot more as human beings versus what they are on stage and in the ring.
Yeah,
it was funny too because I think they did it on purpose this week. But this past Sunday was Ultimate Warriors, and this yesterday was on the dark side of the ring was Ultimate Warrior.
Oh,
so you kind of had like two kind of different stories, kind of. But
interesting.
What I got from both of them was that it sounds like if you worked with him in any kind of capacity, no one was kind of talking really well about him. If you're a fan of the dude, everyone is like hollering, like saying, "Man, what a badass!" Blah blah blah. But if you worked with him, man, no one has had a good thing to say about the dude. So I was like, golly.
I heard an interesting thing about the documentaries. You guys tell me, since you've both seen them. This was from Albert Olivares. He does our opening music on the audio. We've had Albert here also on our Green Lantern episode, but he was saying that he felt like the guys that were alive, they did a very, on the A&E versions, they did a very like bare bones, kind of like pump the guy up, great job, pat on the back, the Stone Cold, the Shawn Michaels. It was very, clean. They didn't talk about a lot of the Stone Cold Endeavor stuff, the Shawn stuff, the drinking stuff. But he said that the people that were already passed, like Macho Man, they went pretty dark, he said. So did you guys kind of maybe get that?
I've heard, the only one I really heard bad was Macho's. Piper was good. Roddy Piper was good.
Well, when I say bad, I mean like it focused on the good and bad things of them, not just the good things. Maybe.
I honestly don't think that I heard anything that was surprising that we didn't already kind of hear about.
Okay. Even as maybe like a casual fan, you kind of knew some of those things. Exactly. But okay. I definitely want to check them out. And if you guys caught our last week's episode, we talked about the 80s wrestling versus 90s wrestling. That was our topic. And again, those are our eras of wrestling. Now, an interesting thing that came out today, rumor mill, did you hear this? That New Japan Pro Wrestling might be wants to be exclusively working with WWE. That would be huge.
You know what? They used to have a relationship back in the 80s. So, I mean, it would only make sense to get back together again.
My good buddy Sean,
Antonio Inoki and Hogan used to always work together. Backlund used to go over there and defend the title against Inoki, So, I mean.
My good brother Sean that I talked to today, he was saying something. He was like, man, Gato will never let it go. And I said, well, no, not let it go, but I mean, work together. And I said, this shirt right here, think about that. Imagine the WWE label on it. And it's because these guys haven't really been in stores since the Bucks left.
Yeah, since they left. Yeah, man.
So, I mean, and this is, again, is still an iconic logo. And imagine what that stable could do in WWE. I mean, that is the money.
Can you imagine if they actually get to use, if AJ gets to use the Bullet Club?
I mean, again, and Finn, imagine them both being there, throwing it up again, the Too Sweet. I mean, it's going to be like a huge, so super huge.
Guys, there's a lot of demand for us to twerk. That's not going to happen. I'm sorry. That's just not going to happen.
I mean, if they do it, I'll do it.
There you go. There you go. Right. It's not going to happen, right? See, guys, and again, it's not, it truly is about the equipment in here and the space we're set up.
But I'm not shaking my head.
Nene films on a phone, guys. It's different. But
take me out first.
Yeah.
Nene may look great twerking. I'm not going to look good twerking.
All your twerking needs can be. I don't want to take away from the man himself said no one looks better in booty shorts than him. I'm not even going to try that. I'm in long shorts right now.
Thank you for coming, though.
Yes,
for checking out the show.
And if you guys are interested in comic books at all, you're in the right place.
Yeah,
so we do appreciate that, guys. You know what? Share it with you. Have a nerdy friend, cousin, brother, uncle, dad. Do. We know you do. Share this video with them one time. That's what I ask of you. Thanks so much.
We're probably their age.
Yeah, so. Exactly, you guys. Yeah, that's another thing too. Body wise, twerking will be really bad here on our knees, backs. You know what I mean? You know, you can catch me though in one of Nene's videos twerking. Got to go back and look.
We're flattered you want to check us out, but it's not going to happen. So.
This is the most twerk talk that's ever been on this show. So thank you, Nene, for that, guys. But let's give a little bit of an intro here. All right, so we got the man himself in the house, Mr. Gabriel Flores. Gabe, now we met you this year. Would you say this year?
Yeah, it was.
For a little bit, maybe a little bit last year.
I met Gabe this year.
Right. We met you through, of course, Mario Delgado. Now, tell me a little bit about that. How do you know Mario? How did you guys come to cross paths?
So Mario, I met through my brother, my older brother. You know, I blame my older brothers for spending so much money on comic books, but I also thank them for it because it's a great hobby, you know. But I met Mario through them. You know, we used to go to shows, and Mario used to do all the little shows, you know, here and the bigger ones.
I remember.
And he used to tell me, "Oh, we got to go see Mario." As soon as we walked in, he always has clean books. He always has nice stuff. Let's go check him out. I'm like, all right, cool. And you know, every time I would go, I'd buy something from him. You know, and it just became a routine thing. You know, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go see Mario, see what he's got on his wall. Yeah. You know, and back then everything was raw, everything was just you know, straight out the box.
The pre-graded days.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so I met Mario through my brothers, and you know, the more I would go into his shop, you know, I'd head out to traders with him. You know, I'd get to know him a little bit. Mario's a great guy. He talks to all his customers, so you know, you get to know him.
Oh yeah, totally.
And you know, that's really how the relationship began. You know, and you know, the rest is history after that. You know? And he's a great friend to this day. You know, I still talk to him, you know, weekly, you know, and cool. We do a little business together. I buy stuff from him. You know, he buys stuff for me to sell, you know, and it's just a thing a cycle that just keeps on going. So
absolutely, man. And tell us a little bit about yourself, Gabe. So you're from San Antonio?
From San Antonio, born in Dallas.
Oh wow, okay.
I was born in Dallas, D-town.
We don't blame you. Okay.
No, I mean, I was the only one in my family actually born in Dallas, you know, and I was there for maybe about a few months until they finally moved back to San Antonio. So I've grown up in San Antonio.
Okay, great. So this is like home.
Yeah, this is
your story, right? Not a Mavericks fan.
Sure.
Okay, good.
Almost like your story, right?
Yeah, almost like my story. Yeah, so you know, I'm a transient as well. Is that the right word? That's not the right word.
Yeah.
But okay, where'd you go to high school?
I went to Lanier High School.
Okay. West Side. All right, that's cool.
I was a bulk.
That's all right. That's we have. I mean, they went to Lanier or whatever. And I used to live. When I would ride the bus, I would pass by it all the time when I was going. My dad lives on the west side currently. So,
oh, okay, yeah,
man. So
my dad still has his house there, and
everyone has like a grandparent or parent on the west side somewhere, right?
I mean, that's where I was born and raised. You know,
yeah,
grew up on the west side. And
my wife's dad said that he bought a house there because it was so quiet at that time.
Yeah,
not the way it is now.
Yeah. My recently passed grandmother, God rest her soul. She a man that was her boyfriend at the later years of her life. He would sit outside with me. We'd drink beer in the front yard of my dad's house. And he goes, "Oh, I remember when this was nothing. You'd see roosters running here and tumbleweeds, and there was nothing. It was like a desert." I was like, "Really, right here? Like what we're looking at is John McMullen, which is like this street. There's like a huge cemetery right there." So. But let's see. Justin in the house. What's up, Justin? Hey, man, got the great package. Plan to show that off next week. So please come back here then for that. And stay tuned, man. If you're here, Justin from Ohio, we put a great picture of him wearing one of our shirts.
Yeah, that was a good one.
One of the tees he bought from the fine folks over at 3 The Hard Way. So we appreciate that, Justin. And Justin does a lot of great digital graphics work. He's getting his business up and running even more. And we're going to promote that when he gets all the way up and done with that particular thing.
Thank you, Justin.
Yeah, totally, man. Gabe, so tell us also now, so grew up here in San Antonio. You're a taken spoken for man, correct?
Yes.
Married?
Yes, I am.
And you said 3 kids? Yeah.
3 kids,
good.
yes.
Good, man. Good.
Blended family.
Okay.
When I met my my wife, she had a daughter. I had a daughter.
Okay, cool.
Ended up having kids young. And I don't regret it.
No.
It's a great thing. But and now, after a while we had our son.
Okay.
So I've got
very nice.
Awesome,
very nice.
2 daughters and
that's
son.
cool.
Very
That's
nice.
cool, man. Hey, man, that's the way families are made up nowadays.
Yeah,
So
sure.
it's all good, different strokes. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and it's funny you talk about the kids young thing or whatever. It's like it used to be that was such like a stigma or whatever. But I've heard so many great stories, including like my friend Jimmy is just like same thing. You know what I mean? Started when he was like 14 and the guy is like big time at USAA now and like doing great things. And so I always say, hey man, if you it's a great story and you obviously doing well now and got everything is together. It's not like a negative anymore. It's just about how you handle it.
Yeah, exactly. It can be a negative, but it's all about how you grow through things.
Totally, man. Totally. Well, look, man. The real reason we brought you in here is because we wanted to twerk.
We got one more person asking for us.
Guys, I know. I don't know what Nene told y'all. This is a good in the wrestling. That's what they call a rib, where he's ribbing us.
He's ribbing us
with the twerking here. I'm sure he's telling you guys specifically.
He's like, there's 3 guys in a room.
Where's Jerry at, Nene? Get Jerry in here. We want to see Jerry join the show. He's probably playing Fortnite. I know that guy. But
I mean, tell him why. I mean, we found out something very interesting when we met Gabe.
So when we met Gabe behind the scenes over at Authority Comics at the time, working with Mario, he has a very Liam Neeson particular set of skills. You know what I mean? And it's not that he was a former spy and can go rescue your daughter if she gets kidnapped, but it's that he does something very special with the comic book itself. Now, if you read my intro, one of the things that as a collector you get asked the most is like, you tell me you collect comics, like, oh, what's your most valuable book? You know what I mean?
Always.
Yeah. Or what should I buy if I want to get into comics?
Another one.
What's going to be worth $1 million? You know what I mean? None of us have that answer here. No. But what we can tell you is that if you do invest in comic books in what they call the raw form, which means an ungraded comic book, something like this. Yeah. You pick it up somewhere, you're somewhere, and it doesn't have anything on there or whatever. I mean, I would say first, as a novice, put it inside of a bag and a board. Right? That'd be a good start if you want to protect it for whatever your reason is. You want to read it again, you want it to not get damaged, or maybe you want to give it to one of your kids. Put it in a bag and a board. That would be first. But it's
always heartbreaking because I did see a lot like this.
Yes. I saw quite a few too.
Saturday. So it was kind of like hurting. I was trying to be nice and kind of like
how about when there's not enough in the long box and they're just getting all that big bend in them,
I almost feel like I'm helping these people by like fixing their books for them, I'm like stacking everything up and separating them.
Or do you do like I do when you're done flipping, then you push them all back to the back?
I just feel bad for the books.
I'm like,
truly, man. Like, sometimes I'm amazed. I'm like, I'm in this place, and this is how you treat this.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? But there's a great line in one of I don't know how you feel about the Kevin Smith movies, Gabe, but like Mallrats. But that great line in the beginning of Mallrats when they're at the flea market, he's like, you should have boards in these. A bunch of savages in this town. I love that. It's such a comic booky line, you know what I mean? But yeah, if you collect comic books or know anything about them, that's one of the things you do.
Yeah, you get them raw and you're kind of like, okay, cool. And maybe you might send them off to CGC.
Right, which is the comic grading I forget what the other C is for. Committee? Is it committee? I don't know. But anyway, the CG Suite, when they grade a book, they take the book,
check everything.
They examine it.
The color, the corners, the creases right here, even like this, right? Like the creases right here.
Even something that a lot of people don't think about, fingerprints.
But
even today, you can go buy a book off the shelf, and there have been about 4 or 5 people who have touched it before you. All the way from the printing to the comic shop.
Like the pages, they have to be kind of like certain measurements, the color, You know, it has to be a certain white. So I mean, it's very detailed in what they do.
I've told this story before on this podcast, but one time I bought a big omnibus of The Boys from Mario Delgado when he was still at Collectors Authority, and literally when I got it home and it was wrapped in like a shrink wrap, I opened it and I was going to read through it. All the pages were not cut. It was like the book was stuck. You couldn't open it and read it. So I was like
an accordion.
Yeah, but it was really one big flap. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like it's defective. I'd never had a defective book before, so I had to go back and endure the stare of Pete, who was like, "You're not returning that $100 omnibus." And I was like, no, wait, I have a good reason. Look at this. So hopefully it's like, I mean, I guess if you get a broken TV, they get their money back from the distributor, but that's what had to happen because this book was, but imagine having a book like that and then trying to get it, you know, graded. It would probably be like, you know, and again, guys, the process of grading is like a graded baseball card or anything, any type of memorabilia that you're trying to get protected and get it assigned. A grade will determine its value. You know what I mean? So between the scale of 1 to 10, a perfect 10 being a perfect book. Have you seen a lot of 10s, Gabe?
I've seen them online, not a lot.
Okay,
they're hard to come by.
All right,
it can increase the value of your book tenfold. You know, 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
But Gabe here did something kind of interesting that you might reconsider before sending your books in. Yeah. You want to tell them what it is?
Well, we're going to talk all about that, guys. You know what we're doing? We're nearing up our first break where we're going to read through some more comments. I believe they might be all about twerking. So, so we might skip through the comments.
But if you're really interested in the collecting of the comic books and maybe you want to take into a business, you might want to check this one out.
Or you know somebody is. Yeah. I mean, guys, you can go buy Bitcoin if you want, or you can buy comic books. Buy me some more, and it might be an equally important investment.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
But guys, we're going to talk all more about that right when we come back from this first break. If you guys are listening to us on Facebook Live or you're joining us on Facebook Live, we're not going anywhere. But if you're with us on the audio version, we'll be back after this first 30-second break. All right, guys, it seems as though the talk in chat is about twerking. And we have some Jerry chats. Jerry. Yes, I also would like Jerry to join. Jerry never joins my show. So now I got to pressure Nene to get Jerry. I think we may have lost all of Jerry.
I think it was almost right after when I said we're not twerking.
So. Oh, yeah. Might have been after. We might have lost all of the nice people that Nene bothered to share this video with, including Nene. But, guys, for all your twerking needs, please go see Nene's TikTok.
Guys, you know, again, me and CM here, we saw Quiet Place 2, but during the 2 trailers that they showed for me, they showed the new Top Gun movie.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
That wasn't in mine. See that one.
We were in the same theater, like the same.
All right. Well, I saw the Top Gun trailer. It looked pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Miles, what's his name? CM from Fantastic Four. And the drum movie where him and J.K. Simmons are going.
Right. That
Miles Teller.
Yes.
Miles Teller. It looks like he's going to be playing Goose's son, I think.
Is that right?
I think so.
Okay, interesting. All grown up, right? Yeah. You fan of Top Gun movies, yet?
I've seen them.
Or the Top Gun movie.
I've seen it. Yeah.
It's fine.
I love it. To me, it's a consummate 80s movie. It's up there with Ghostbusters, and you know, my dad loved it. You know,
I guess I watched it because I kind of felt I had to, because you know everybody references.
Everyone talked about it. That's why I saw it too. That's why I saw it.
I think if you did a top 5 or top 10 of the 80s movies, Top Gun would be in there.
The soundtrack,
the soundtrack, Danger Zone. You know what I mean? So,
and then they also showed the Snake Eyes trailer, man. And,
nice.
I was really intrigued. I don't know where they're gonna go with this. Exactly. I don't know what story they're telling.
Scarlett was there. We saw her, and I think Baroness might be there as well too. So that's pretty cool.
But I think that's a great thing, because I always like when they change the story, instead of being redundant and showing the same thing and just redoing it. You know,
I mean, and this really is like, I think, smart in their part, because Snake Eyes is a beloved G.I. Joe character.
He's the G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I mean, and they calling it G.I. Joe Origins. You know what I mean? So it's like, if they can do it right, you know, great. What did I see? And I was thinking, it was great for what it was. Oh, Army of the Dead. Did you guys watch Army of the Dead?
Yes.
No, my wife saw it last Friday when we were doing the show.
Well, what's her thoughts?
She loved it, but she loves every zombie movie.
I mean, I heard a lot of people's negatives, and I was like, no. What did you go in thinking? I was like, it's not Justice League Snyder cut. Yeah. I was like, it's Snyder, but it's not.
They want like 28 days later. You know, I think they want something like that. You know?
Yeah. What did you think?
I thought it was good.
It was a lot of fun to me. I had fun watching it. I was like, this is a fine movie. I was like, it's like, it's long for a zombie kind of action.
Zack Snyder, he's kind of starting going into like those long epics.
Oh yeah. It has a ton of plot holes. They're really gaping and obvious, whatever. But I'm not watching for that. I'm watching because
it's a zombie movie. Come on, there's like what, zombie tigers.
Right.
I'm not watching for the story. I'm watching to see somebody get blown up.
Totally. The zombies looked cool. The action was good. There was decent acting and actors in it. Some different stuff happened that we haven't seen in zombie stuff. And if you guys want to hear a really good, we're not going to cover it, but if you want to hear a really good deep dive on it.
Pretty much this is what I saw on Netflix. It was like Dawn of the Dead meets Ocean's 11. They pretty much get this little group. Las Vegas is like overrun with zombies. But there's this casino that has like I think it's like what, $2 million or something. It's
200 million.
200 million. And so they get Batista and he recruits his group and they have to go inside Las Vegas to try and get the money. So that's pretty much what it is.
Would you guys, with the Friday Night Faithful, would any of you Friday Nighters go out for $200 million and try to against zombies?
The rest of the world look fine, right?
Yeah. Okay. They do a really kind of neat job of showing how they kind of contained it or whatever. But
so yeah, that's pretty much the plot. Get the money.
You risking your life for that, Gabe?
Depends on the squad.
It depends on the squad. Okay, that's a good answer.
Like, good answer.
Good answer. Good answer. It seemed like they had a good plan, and they had a kind of good guide, but things, of course, go off the rails. Always put that shady guy that you didn't pick for the crew. Put him in the front. That's what I would say. No matter what you do, put that guy at the front. So I think you should check it out. AA. The Now Watch This podcast with Lucky and Joe. They did a great deep dive on it. Their episode was about as long as the movie, so that's cool. They do kind of like a watch along.
And check out their new one. They do No Holds Bar on their new one.
Yeah, it's coming up. That hasn't come out. They're going to record that one, and that's going to come out. So
rip them.
Yeah, like this. Hogan and Zeus. Rest in peace. Is it Tommy Lister? Tony Lister Jr. Rest in peace, man. So, but cool, guys. We're ready to get right back into the real meat and potatoes of the show here.
Be a good one.
If you're out there watching us in Facebook land and you have any questions for Gabe or any of us, please let us know. But I think the comments are done. So let's get right into it and get back to talking about what we're talking about tonight.
It's all about taking care of your comics.
Guys, we're talking comics. Thank you for hanging out during the break. We're back here with Gabe Flores in the house, the man who knows how to take care of a comic book, quite truly. And so we're calling this one tonight, Pressing the Issue with Gabe Flores, because we are indeed going to talk about literally pressing some issues.
Which might sound weird, right?
Weird. It does not our personal deep-rooted issues, you know what I mean? Like we know CM Chuck has. We could press those issues another time. But no, quite literally, guys, your comic book issues. If you're a comic book fan and you're a comic book collector, you might say, man, I really want to take better care of these. I know they're old. They were my dad's, whatever the case may be. They were, some great uncle.
You're just that businessman that comes in, because I've heard some people at Mario's store it's like, hey, I'm not really into comics, but I know it's a pretty good investment. Which comic would you recommend on your wall?
Gabe stood by me at Ekman's flipping books and literally helped me pick out some selections that are here in my little stack. And again, these might have more value later on, and in order to increase their value, if I decided to send one off to get it graded, before you do that, you might think that's the be all end all, right? Like send it off, get it graded, protect it. It's a Amazing Spider-Man #1. It's this one I've got on my t-shirt right here. You might think that, right? But before you do that, there is now a step that you can do that will increase, just help protect and make look better your comic book, because there's a group of guys, or it might be a guy in a room that's going to pour over your book cover to cover, right? Front and back. He's going to look at every little possible thing that's wrong with it. And you're going to, you're trying to get to a 10, but he's going to be knocking you down as you go along. Now, Gabe is going to help you get as high as you can get with what the process that he does, which is called pressing, right? Gabe? Pressing. So give us a basic breakdown of what exactly pressing an issue kind of involves.
Well, a lot of times, people bring me their books and they're like, hey, I'm thinking about getting this graded. What can I do to it? I always recommend to people clean and press it. To me, those things go hand in hand. I've never really done one or the other. I've always told people like, hey, if you're going to invest in the book, invest right, do both.
Do both.
Whether it's for, your own personal reasons or because you're really looking for value in your collection or any other reason, I always just tell them just do both.
Yeah.
So pressing a book really involves taking out a lot of those little issues that you find just from, books being in boxes, people rifling through them, coming off the shelf, fingerprints, bends, dents, dings.
How about the main thing we do with it? Reading it, and you opening it over and over and over again, which I know you do and I do, because that's guilty. Why we love these stories.
That's why more and more I started buying trade paperbacks. I can stop doing that.
Me too. We love to look at the art. We love to, and especially if you have some great old classic books,
a Jack Kirby book, a Steve Ditko book.
Sure.
Gabe has probably had stuff in his hands that is worth, probably more than someone else making a month for sure. You know what I mean? And can you imagine? I mean, like for me,
guys, we're talking about like $5,000 books, $10,000 books. This is that's
Gabe was at a booth this weekend. Our good friend, friend of the show, Rick's Comic Crypt, had one of these in a slab,
a real one
on the wall. Going for how much?
About $22,000.
$22,000. That's some people's whole salary for the year.
Yeah.
I have it on a T-shirt. This is worth nothing.
And if I'm not mistaken, it was like a grade 5.5, mid-grade.
A 5.5.
So okay, let's talk about that real quick. Okay, Gabe. So a 5.5. What's wrong with that book? Did you look at it? Can you by eye identify? This is why it's got that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, when you're talking about books like that, back in the day, people were buying those at drugstores, folding them up, putting them in their back pocket. They were getting mailed to people. They were sitting on shelves in cardboard boxes, getting eaten away by silverfish. There's a bunch of, but back then people weren't like, this book is going to be worth, this house later on. They weren't.
Right.
So it's really hard to find a book that old and such a great, mid-grade is a really high grade for a book like that.
Sure.
For
a 5.
Everything
for 1962.
Yeah. So you'll see you'll see all the color breaks. You'll see the bends. The little tears at the from people reading them over and over. They'll tear little corners off, and that's really what knocks you down the grade on those books.
Definitely. Now a book like that, and we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves, but we're going to talk about it now. Were there things you saw with that book that? And again, this is almost like, unspoken of. If the book is already graded, guys, and in there, you don't want to take it out. But here's a man that has done that. You've cracked open slabs.
I was like, holy shit.
You knew that you could increase the value of it. You could take it from a 5. Would you say that when we're talking about, were there things that you saw about it that maybe you could have improved?
Yeah, there were a bunch of light bends from, the color breaks that extended into the book that can be taken out. It's whether or not the person wants to crack it and go through the whole process of doing it.
Sure.
A book, obviously that valuable, you send it to CGC, it's not going to be a standard fee.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, it's not. You've got to insure the book. Yeah, they're going to charge you for it. So then you kind of get into that, okay, I'm going to pay for this and then pay for this. Is it worth it? A book like that, yes, it is.
Yeah, because you'll get your money back.
Yeah, you're going to make your money back. In spades.
Oh, yeah.
So with what you think you could have done to it, what do you think you could have moved that grade to?
A book that old, a 0.5 point is a huge jump in value.
Sure.
It is. And honestly, that book could have jumped at least 0.5 point more than what it was. Yeah. Which, at that grade, because I looked it up while I was there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That went from a $22,000 book, 0.5 point, gives you another $6,000 on the book.
Well, that's a huge difference. You're talking $6,000 here. Yeah. And if you're the type of person walking around shopping for that, and let's say a guy has 3 or 4 of them out, he's got a 3, a 5, and a 6. I mean, and you've got the money. I mean, and you're like, well, the difference is only this. And you're probably getting it for the investment value as well. I mean, you're going to give this to your kids, or maybe in case, you do plan to resell it, you're waiting, another, 10 years. Sure. You want that 6, what I mean? And you've got it there. So Gabe, an important part about it you talked about is cleaning. Now explain to me what that means and what you do to it, because we're talking about paper here. You know what I mean? Sometimes glossy stock, but not with the older stuff.
Not with the older stuff.
How are you approaching it that, what are you doing to it that cleans it? And what is it dirty from, really? I know you mentioned earlier in the break,
oils,
fingerprints, oils. a lot of times, and we touched on it earlier, we went through the boxes that were just back paper to paper. Mm-hmm. Imagine you have a book like this, dark cover, right? And you've got another book right in front of it with a white back. All that color rubs onto the back of the board, and not only that, but the dirt from your hands, is on the book, is getting rubbed onto the back of the book before it. So a lot of times you find
put bags on them.
Yes, please.
I can't stress it enough.
If you've ever went to Mario's store, every damn book was bagged.
Yeah. You get these really wonderful human beings. They put 2 boards in the back. Yes. I'm like, oh, are you an angel? Like, I'm like, amazing.
Exactly. But dirt and grime from your hands, it's just on the book, and you see it more prevalent on white covers.
Okay.
You see, if somebody ate French fries and touched it, you're gonna see an oil fingerprint. They will not come out, but that they touched it.
Yeah. And, can you get some of that off?
Oil, you can't. Once it's in there, it's in there.
Right.
It's oil.
White.
Yeah.
Right. I read a lot when I'm on eBay, and I know this is an important thing. Comes from a smoke-free home.
Yes.
How many times have you even gotten a book, maybe you borrowed a book from a friend that smokes? It's in the pages, man. And these old ones, the pages are not this glossy stock now. It's this like pulp, like a newspaper.
Yes.
So it's like it just sucks up that smell of cigarette and smoke. And I'm sure that it's doing damage to the book as well. But I mean, not that, but it stinks. You know what I mean? So I imagine that if I'm a grader, right away I'm knocking that.
Oh yeah, for sure. The smoke. I mean, people have handed me books, and you don't smell anything till you open the bag. They're like, "Oh, this came from a smoker." And the first thing I think about are those smoking commercials where they show the glass and all this stuff.
Totally.
That's what it's doing to your books. That's why your pages are yellow. That's why they're off white. That's why your covers are a little grimy. Just because of that cigarette smoke.
Can you imagine having this in your hands, but it stinks like cigarette?
Maybe it's from Stanley smoking.
Maybe
it's Jack Kirby smoking.
Maybe it's Jack Cigar himself. Does that increase the value?
It's Kirby cigar.
It's Kirby cigar smoke on it right there. Can you imagine if you got original art from him and it's like holy shit? You know what I mean? But no,
but
seriously,
it's so many little details like that just golly, you're just like you don't even think. You're like, man, it looks beautiful. It looks perfect. It's probably a perfect 10 right here. Yeah. And it's just all the little things that keep going into it.
I don't know if you noticed just on Saturday when we were looking through books, there were a couple of them I picked up and I did this.
I did not notice that you did that. Yeah. And you're just checking just in case. Yeah. Nothing?
Yeah. No, nothing. No.
Good.
But the ones I did, if I smelled it and there was a book I wanted, I was like, hey, I want to buy this, but it's got a really bad cigarette smell to it. Like, here, smell it.
Oh, okay.
Get me a discount,
Oh, shit.
Not even that. I imagine a lot of, people in our world are smoking a lot of weed too. They're smoking, I love Kevin Smith's show. The guy's sparking up every time. I'm imagining his collectibles around him.
I mean, I never even thought about it, but mentioning that too, half price books, a lot of those comics kind of have a little that kind of smell,
I've bought books before, and I could smell it. I just knew or whatever.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a quick question, a personal question. Gabe, this is for me. But do you do anything with hardcovers? Can you do anything? Can you repair like spine damage or anything like that? Is that in your wheelhouse?
Yeah, you can to a point. When you've got hardcovers, once that thing's bent, it's bent.
Okay.
You can kind of flatten out some of the wrinkles, but that's about the best you can do.
But then you can't open it
again, right? Exactly. You can't open it again. Yeah. And then pressing them is a real touchy thing because a lot of those have glue at the edge.
Right.
You don't want the glue to come undone and your pages start popping out.
Right.
So there's a certain temperature range that you can work in without damaging the book, but at the same time it also limits you with how much you can take out of the book.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about that because you said it right there. We're talking about now. Let's take the actual process. So let's back up. You're going to clean the book. Are you wearing like white gloves or what do you?
Most of the time, yeah, I do. I've got gloves that I wear. They've got little grip on them.
Okay.
And I wash my hands thoroughly before I touch any book.
Yeah. And are these like surgeon gloves, like rubber? Or Like latex?
The great thing is my brother works at University Hospital. So I'm like, hey, can you
Don't tell him.
Can you give me some more gloves? And I don't have to pay for them. So that's
great.
Thing.
No, that's good.
But
keep the overhead costs down there.
For sure, for sure.
That comes back to you, the consumer.
Exactly. I don't have to charge you for the gloves I use.
Okay, so you're handling them with gloves, and then you're going to start to do your by eye examination of the book.
Yeah.
And you might say this book has. I've seen this before and I've done it before with like my finger where I can feel like there's like some type of maybe something got like sticky stuff or something like that on it. You know what I mean?
Well, not just that, but I mean, opening a book has to be a bit first, right?
Right.
Because most people will have tape on there.
Yes.
Okay.
I put tape on my books.
And CM is very anal about keeping. He's very anal about keeping the tape on. So I would imagine that when you open it, you're like, okay, now I gotta really flip this before I take the book out.
Yeah.
Because if the tape gets stuck on the cover, it's gonna rip it.
Yeah. I feel like it's letting,
be sensitive,
you know,
but it's gonna rip that page. It's gonna rip some color off, and you're like, fuck, I just damaged the book.
I feel like it's letting air in, which I know air is the enemy, but I could be wrong. You know,
so that's got to be a bitch right there, right?
Oh, yeah. So most of the time, the first thing I do when I grab a book is I'll do this.
Checking.
Just a little whiff to make sure it doesn't have a cigarette smell to it. Because at that point, if it does, I'm going to have to let the person know, hey, it's got a cigarette smell.
Or I'm sure you smoke weed or other shit on it because people are smoking in their house.
And we can get it out, but it's going to take time. You know?
Okay.
So that's the very first thing I do.
Okay.
Next thing I do is I'll take the book out. You know, I will take the tape off completely. I will take it off and stick it somewhere or throw it away and never put it back on there. You know, I won't put it back on there. So, you know, I'll look at the book in its raw form. You know, I'll hold it.
That's awesome.
You know, I'll look at it in its raw form. You know, I appreciate books too. So I love literature.
Sure.
To hold a book like this,
which
in raw form,
this is a gorgeous Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. Fantastic Four number 49. This is the actual first appearance.
It's like the first of Galactus.
First full Galactus. That's what it is. Yeah. So I'll look at it in its raw form and just kind of see. Okay, I'll look at what I call the defects that I can get rid of. That's the first thing I start looking for. Okay.
And there's some stuff right here where you're holding it. I can look at it and see. You know what I mean?
For sure. I mean, this isn't like
right there. Just
all
that.
Yeah, exactly. There's a light bend right here.
Again, this is from something from 1963, 64.
It's common.
Yeah. And for our audio listeners, guys, I know some of this is going to be difficult to translate because you're listening to us.
We'll show you, though, during the promotion.
We're going to show and definitely check out the YouTube channel where you'll be able to see everything that we're holding up.
First appearance of Galactus.
First appearance of Galactus, guys, that Gabe is showing. But we're talking about things that you might maybe see like on a book, when an old library book where it gets,
if you're
the corners fold in.
You just know.
Now, Gabe, that's something I want to ask you about, too. I know we're getting into, I'm going all over the place.
Go ahead.
But do you do anything to the inside? Like if there's dog-eared pages, things like that,
I will. I don't want to give a book back to somebody who has, folded pages inside.
Sure.
And I've gone as extensive as taking a book apart.
Okay.
And flattening out pages.
Okay.
Putting it back together and giving it to the person.
Okay. Okay, so let's back up. Back to the cleaning process. So you're looking it over.
So I'm holding it. I'm looking it over. I'm looking for the defects first. I'll look at the front. I'll look at the back, and I'll start making mental notes of what I'm seeing.
Okay.
Because then I know I kind of have a general idea of how I'm going to attack the book and start getting rid of things. Next thing I do is I start looking at the gloss and the colors. I like to make sure that there are no fingerprints on there. Any that I can remove. I like to make sure there's nothing sticky. Nothing sticky. Somebody was eating a waffle and decided to go read a book.
Shit.
Or you get that Dorito and that Cheeto dust on your fingers and you decide to read comic books.
Yep.
Not a good move, guys. Not a good move.
And believe me, I've seen it.
I'm sure.
I've seen it. I've had what looked like a melted Jolly Rancher on the book. I'm like, I couldn't even get it out of the sleeve. I'm like,
man,
so I've run across some things. So that's the next thing I look for. I start running my glove across, and anything sticky, the glove is going to stick.
Nice. Very nice.
Any little bits of debris, you're going to feel it in the glove.
Right.
Whether it's inside or outside, start checking it out. And then, I'll do the same thing to the back.
Okay.
After that, I'll start looking at my whites because I know white is such a forgiving color. You can get rid of a lot of dirt and make the book look so much cleaner just by cleaning the white.
Right. Nice.
Right.
So that's the very next thing I do. After that, I'll look at the inside.
Okay.
People don't think about this, but I've run across it a lot. They will buy a book. I'll go buy this book. Oh, I got a great deal. I want to get it graded. I want to get it pressed.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Did you know there's a SIG on the first page? Back in the day, they used to sign the first pages of the book.
Really? Who is that signing it? Is it like
artist?
Wow.
I've found Todd McFarlane SIGs.
Holy shit.
I've found Stan Lee SIGs in pen because back then they used to just sign the first page, not on the cover.
Damn.
Oh my gosh.
So I have found those, I have to let them know. I'm like, hey, you're going to send this in. You might get an unverified SIG label.
Okay.
It's up to you whether you still want to do it. I can still press it. you know, we
and I imagine too, when you're pressing down with pen like you do on paper, it's gonna push on the back pages of it as well.
For sure.
I can't believe that. I never knew that.
But again, this is a time, you know, Stanley has gone on record saying that, you know, this was never supposed to be anything big. You know, he used Stan Lee, not his real name, because he was still going to write his great American novel.
Stanley Lieber.
So this was something that was, you know, the kids read it and then throw it, you know, boom. Yeah. You know, it was recycled.
Like the funny pages, guys, like a newspaper.
That's all this was. So they didn't care about all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And a perfect example, like what you talked about, this one was signed in pen on the front. And you can kind of see a little bit on the first page.
Where he pushed down.
Yeah, where he pushed down.
Right.
You can definitely see it on the cover. You can see it on the first page.
So now we know we got to stick a board in there when we're
right?
Sign this.
Why is there a board there?
Exactly. Yeah.
Sign away
to protect it from you. Yeah.
Which is funny because some of our later stuff we have it signed in marker, like some of our Bendis stuff. We have some Bendis stuff signed in marker.
So
the felt tip nicer, probably nicer on there, right?
Exactly. So yeah, I have found tons of SIGs inside the book.
Okay.
By Kirby, Stan Lee. I mean, some great.
My gosh, I can't imagine having my
some
eyes
great
on
writers, artists, but literally on the first page, you know, and they didn't know anything about it.
Okay.
It's like, wow.
So right away you might think that would increase the value, but in fact, it did damage the book. It's writing in the book.
It did, and it brings you to a different crossroads of whether you want to get an uncertified slab or send it to a different company who will certify the SIG for you and get you that label you want.
Okay.
Remember, guys, there's two companies that would do that for you.
It's not. It's CGC and Gabe.
CBCS.
CBCS. Okay, and CBCS is who will. They don't need to witness.
Yeah, they don't need a witness. They'll authenticate it. You know, they'll match it up with all the other signatures, and they will say, yes, this is from, you know, Stanley.
Yeah, it's great service. They have great service.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You guys might have seen this like on Pawn Stars. Sometimes they sell him autographed stuff or whatever, and then he brings in a guy that's a signature expert, and he pretty much looks at the strokes and all that. So that's really cool that this company, CBCS, will do that without the person being awesome.
There. What Mario told me, I freaked out. I was like, great.
But it is
great service.
It is nice to know that you can also be at a show and get one of their people to walk with you and get a witness signature, because you know, I take a picture with the guy right after, but somebody can say, that ain't, you know.
I take a picture too, and I know there's been a few artists that kind of outsaid it, like they hate when they bring a witness in, like Rob Liefeld. I think bans him. I don't think he does.
Oh wow.
Yeah, really? Rob Liefeld.
Why because he thinks you're going to resell.
Yeah. And because you're making money off his signature.
Yeah.
You know.
And you know, it's so funny. I hope I never insulted anybody that I met. You know, I did it with Humberto Ramos. I did it with Larry Hama. And I didn't think that I thought of it as more like, this is my moment with you in the book. You know what I mean? Not because I'm going to show this to someone and be like, hey, I guys really met him. I'm like, that's for me. Humberto signed my Spider-Man 700. And Larry Hama, I think it's just like it's a Wolverine. You know what it is? It's a Fatal Attractions.
Yes.
The hologram cover.
The
25. You know what I mean? And I told him he was one of my favorite, you know, writers and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, you know, I guess I could see how that would be insulting to think, you're just getting this to go sell.
And in today's market, I understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you tell your George Paris story to this guy. You said you saw people going with stacks because he wasn't charging.
Well, yeah, because he wasn't charging, because he goes that he makes enough money where he doesn't have to charge you. So, man, you can tell they're comic book sellers big time. They have it all taped up, the cover, you know, they have it all marked up, sign here, sign here, sign here, you know. But, man, there's this guy just bringing stacks to this guy, and I was like, come
that's
on,
brutal.
Bro.
That's I know I don't like, you know what, I think as an artist I would be like, man, you know, I'm gonna, you know, I'll sign a couple for you, you know what I mean? But like all like that, I'm like, dude,
man, you're taking advantage of
for
this.
Sure. For sure. But let's back up a little bit more, Gabe. So tell me now you made your assessment. Now what are you using? I don't imagine any type of chemical or anything. How can you since you're doing like a dry cleaner, you're dry cleaning a book.
You're dry cleaning, and there's a whole bunch of different methods, from you know, erasers to a certain kind of putty that won't leave any kind of residue. To just something as simple as a cloth.
Okay.
You know, just
wiping it.
Yeah, just wiping it. It takes time, but you just, you know, work at it.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a whole bunch of different methods that you use to clean a book. And it just depends on what it is you're trying to do.
Yeah. I had bought some dollar books a while back, and I had got one that had some sticky stuff on the front. I literally took, it was something that I was going to just read them. I took a white bead of that son of a bitch, and some of the colors started to come onto the white bead. I was like, you know what I mean? But again, it wasn't like, it was in rough shape, and it was like for me to read.
So for us to get it, for it to come off, you know, that hurts, you know, us.
Right.
And that's where the techniques of actually cleaning it properly come in hand, because you can have somebody who just does that, like, oh, let me do that, you know, and then your face of
see him check right here, you know? Yeah, right. Or you got a big old streak of no color.
Exactly. And same thing with erasers. People think, oh, erasers, I can just, well, you've got to be, you know, there's a real small fine line to where you start erasing color.
Right.
And you can't just go, you know,
a real light hand on that.
Exactly,
a light touch would be involved.
Yeah.
Now, imagine something's on there, Gabe, that's like maybe like I can't even think. When we mentioned maybe like a syrup or whatever, but even something like that.
Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, where it leaves like maybe almost like a crust on top. Will you scrape it off? Can that come off? No. Okay, no scraping.
You don't scrape it. The moment you scrape, whatever is stuck to that residue is coming with it.
Okay.
You know, so you do have to get to the point where you do have to introduce a little bit of water.
Okay.
And you're just working at it real finely. And it, again, all this takes time. You know, you have to just work at it.
It's almost like National Treasure, right?
Yeah.
They're working on the declaration, remember the lemon.
Exactly.
Or like antiquing. We've all seen videos of where they touch up the Mona Lisa. You know what I mean? I love to watch these videos. You guys ever watch these where they buy like an old toy train that's metal, rusted out, but the guy pulls it all apart.
Yes.
He cleans all the rust up, and he's able to reassemble it and paint it, and it looks like freaking brand new.
Yeah.
Dude, that shit is like super soothing to me. So this for you must also be kind of you get in the zone, I imagine.
It is, right? It is. I get to a point where, you know, the kids and the family know. I try to take time away from them, but they know, like, hey, Dad's working on books. Don't bother him. Yeah. I really do. I get into a zone where I'm working.
Well, you have to be, because you're also working on something can be incredibly valuable.
And it's somebody else's book.
There's that too, right?
I try to treat their books like I would my own. So you know, I take my time. Yeah. I'm not trying to rush it. I'm not trying to, you know, push the issue. Literally, you know. And
that's the key right here. That when I first met Gabe, that he said that to me. He's like, I'm not going to treat your book like it's not my own or whatever. There's no rushing in this process. You simply can't, because of the nature of what it is, and that you can potentially damage more. I don't know if we can tell that story on air. Maybe later on we'll tell a story of.
We can tell it. I just won't use any names.
Yeah, we won't use any names, but of a job and on a book that something went wrong.
Another presser.
Yeah, another presser, right? And that instance led the gentleman who got the book pressed to now this gentleman who's doing the pressing.
Guys, look, I mean, like you say, if you do a good job, trust me, if there's a guy that has valuable comics, they're just going to keep sending and sending. You know, just do your best, you know, to take care of these books. You know,
since we had Mario on, you know, Gabe has seen Double A's wall, so we've changed the wall sometimes depending on our topic. And you know, speaking of the fantastic 449, you know, you want someone that you're going to trust with that book to be handling it. You know what I mean?
Like I say, you're kind of really investing a lot of money that you really didn't think about before, but now you're like, oh shit, you know, this is a very important issue. You don't want just someone just put the steam on there and then it's like, holy shit.
And we're gonna talk about. I really want to get into
because
in the
next part, a lot of books really have skyrocketed because of the movies, because of everything. Yes. Even this probably at one point was probably like $1, you know, and it's probably now worth 10. Or if you grade it, it could probably go up a lot more now.
I would hate to lose a couple of $100 or even, you know, tens of dollars because.
And I didn't hard to get now.
Take a few simple steps that would just improve its quality overall vastly. You know, so
but not just that, but you know, some of these books, if you do get ruined, you're fucked for some of them because they're so rare and hard to get now.
Yeah,
they are.
You know,
and you've got a deep collection of things.
I do. When I bought them really cheap, like
your brother has and this is your brother's, but he has a raw
X-Men. Raw X-Men
#1.
Yes, he does.
He has a raw Hulk #1, right? I would love for you to put your eyes on these. I've seen them. His are shown to me all the time. I don't ask all the time though, but I mean, I'm sure if I asked him, he'd show me. But I would love to get. Has he thought about grading?
No, I'm the only one that's been thinking about doing it to finally just save them. You know, to get them out of the the air.
Do they ever? They never do. There's never been a show, or are there shows? Do you know of maybe where they grade it there? You can give it to them and get it back. Yeah. They do have that, right? I thought I saw that at Comic Palooza.
And on-site it's mainly the bigger shows. Comic Palooza. What's the other
Wizard World,
San Expo, the Dallas one,
San Diego, of course.
Okay,
you know, CGC is there, and they will do on-site
grading. They've got a big ass booth. I've seen this before.
And you take your books, and your books are graded and done the next day. You just go pick them up.
Nice.
Okay.
You know,
Nice.
and that's great. You know, I wish they would do that more.
Have you ever done or thought about? Number one, is it something that you could do at a show? Could you set up a booth for pressing and have people at the start of the show at 9 a.m. bring you 5 books and say press these? Or does one book take? I guess my question is, how long
would it be financially feasible? Is what you're asking.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you're gonna have to pay for the spot. You're gonna have to pay for the time being there.
Sure.
And not just that, the damage right to the book. Consider,
Exactly.
like you said,
It
the
depends,
crust. What if
right?
there's a crust?
It depends.
Yeah.
I've got no back cover.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if somebody brings you a whole bunch of books off the shelf, you know, in today's, you know, off the shelf in the comic shop, you know, that's feasible. But if they're bringing older books, a little bit more damaged books, it's going to take more time, and there's only so much that you can do
right
while you're there.
Right. Okay. So there's no give me a short amount of time for pressing and a long amount of time.
Okay, so a book off the shelf has been limited in how many people touched it. You can press that and let it sit for, you know, a few hours, and you probably got like 6 hours into the book total. Okay, that's quick.
You've cleaned it. You've done all your steps.
You know, you got rid of fingerprints. You've done just minimal work on it.
Okay,
6 hours, and most of it is just it's sitting in the press.
It's literally in the and the heat is on.
The heat is on for a little bit.
Okay.
Once you've turned it off, you've got to let it sit and get cold on its own. Because if you take it out while it's still hot, the page is going to do this. It's going to curl up on you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Why? Because of the ink. The ink is going to curl on you to make the paper fold.
And we're going to talk right in the next block. I'm going to talk to you more about literally that, because it freaked me the fuck out when he told me what he did. I was like, wait, you're going to do what to it? I was like, you put Spider-Man issue 1 in there? I was like, it sounds insane.
So you've got to let it sit in there just to let the paper get the memory of the way it is sitting. So that way, when it comes out, it stays flat and it doesn't develop those curves again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn. So that process could be a 6 hour.
Yeah, 6 hours.
And that's on you said
that's just a brand new book off the shelf.
Okay, off the shelf.
Off the shelf.
There you go.
Guys, we're nearing up on our next 30-minute break here. If you're listening to us on audio, you hear just a little bit of a blip, and then we're right back with you talking with Gabe Flores, all about pressing the issue, literally pressing your comic book issues to get the best possible value out of them. An amazing process. He's brought some press books in to show us. Again, guys, if you're listening to us on audio and you want to get the full effect of what we're talking about, go check out the YouTube channel, hit subscribe, and look at the visuals that we're going to show you there of these. We're going to get to it later, the pressed issues that Gabe has done and how incredible they look. Stick around. We'll be right back after a blip. And if you're here with us on visual, we're not going anywhere. Guys, thanks for hanging out. You know, we do every 30 minutes. We check the comments. We read what's going on. We got Gabe Flores in the house talking about pressing comic books, making them in the best possible, cleaner in the best possible shape they can be before getting sent off to get graded. You want to do this before you get your book graded. You want to do this because we talked about it earlier. Depending on your book, it could be a difference of maybe even $6,000. Imagine that. Imagine missing out on that because you didn't take some simple steps and allow a little bit of time to do that. So let's take a look at the comments. Hopefully the twerking conversation is over. We'll see.
Rich is the house. He goes, "What's up, guys?"
Hey, what's up, Rich? Welcome, man. Welcome. We appreciate you being here, brother. Let's in the house. Says, hi, handsome cousins. I hope we'll see you tomorrow. I hope. Hello, beautiful cousin. Steve here says, Gabe, what is the very best comic you've ever pressed?
Very best one.
Now, Steve, if you're still with us, do you think you mean best as in Gabe's favorite, or do you mean best as in best most value? I think maybe you mean most value. That's what I would probably be asking myself.
Yeah, I think the best one I've done is probably an ASM.
Okay, that's the one on my t-shirt. Hey, Amazing Spider-Man #1. He's here with the Fantastic Four. You can't totally see it. Speaking of, okay, guys, here comes the twerking. Just kidding. You kind of see the fact. This cover is so iconic. If this is in your old grandpappy's quality. Yeah. Okay. This is in your old grandpappy's Foot Locker somewhere from his army days. Bring it over to Gabe so get it sorted away here, and then you go send that off and have 22K in your pocket.
After he presses it, don't take it out.
Yeah.
Send it straight to the
send it straight away, right away.
Don't touch it. Don't read it.
And I'm gonna ask you about that too. Like, what would you advise someone to do once you're done your job? how do you protect that before it goes in the mail? I know you said once you've done it, you like to get it as flat as possible.
Yeah, for sure. To show us. And I like to double, even triple board certain books.
Oh yeah, I would imagine.
And I will leave it in the plastic until it gets sent off.
Yeah. So Steve says, quality. What's the best quality comic book you've ever pressed?
Well, I guess it depends on the age, but if I had to go with an older book, and one of my favorites, Strange Tales 110.
Oh, holy shit!
Tell me about Strange Tales 110.
Doctor Strange.
First appearance, Doctor Strange. Okay, I was thinking that's what we were talking about, but I was like, am I numbering right? Yeah. I kept asking Mario about the Amazing Spider-Man 33 or whatever, and I'm showing him. He's like, "You're not going to find that Charles for under $300." And I was like, "I was just wondering, maybe you saw one without the back cover or something. I'll take it." You know, I was just like, I want to like flip through it. You know what I mean? So I don't know that unless it's one of you guys held any like, you know, legit like a Ditko from that time.
I held that book, and because I love that book so much, it's one of my favorite characters. You know, so to actually have the original, I've
only seen it once.
Oh, I can imagine.
I wanted to read it, but I was like, no, I've already read it online.
I've only seen it once.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, at an old Ekman show. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So there you go, Steve. Strange Tales 110, the first appearance of Doctor Strange. Yeah, the fingers like this. Steve Ditko art, the man who co-created Spider-Man and co-created Doctor Strange.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So with Stan the Man Lee. So it's like, I mean, you're talking about an icon of comic books and an iconic book.
Yeah. And the value, you know, at the time was there. I mean, he brought it to me, and it looked like a 7 to like 8.
It looked like that
in the condition it was in. You know, luckily, you know, I was able to get it to a 9, just cleaning it and pressing it. You know, and he was super excited.
To a 9.
Damn.
Wow. Yeah. Damn. Wow. You know, and I was like, hey, you know, throw me a bone.
Dude, I mean,
damn.
I'm sure the day that Gabe dreams of the day when this is just your full-time gig and you're doing this in some clean room, you know what I mean? Yeah. But dude, I would imagine charging a percentage would be a part of that. I mean, because that's huge. I mean, again, I don't know how you ever know if they resell. You know what I mean?
It was a good friend of mine. You know, he's a good friend of mine. So I did charge him for it, you know, but I didn't.
Yeah. Of course. You're good like that. Now, did you guys ever watch Comic Book Men? Did you watch that?
No.
One of the questions, you never watched it? Kevin Smith, his Secret Stash show. Anyway, people would bring in.
I got off like when it was Pawn Stars and everything. I was like, okay, this is just a made show.
It was like a Pawn Stars, but for comic book guys. And what made it neat is because, you know, these guys were a little bit more likable than the guy that's in Pawn Stars. But one of the main things that Walt Flanagan, who ran the shop for Kevin Smith, would ask is he'd say, "Tell me how it came to you." Did your friend tell you how he just bought it at a show?
Actually, he got it. His dad was a collector when he was younger, so the you know, everything ended up going to him, and he was a collector himself. So it's just one of those books that stayed in there.
Yeah,
you know, from the time that, you know, his dad bought it or acquired it or whatever, you know. And man,
I would love to know, and maybe one of you knows, but when did, like, you know, comic book supplies like bagging and board kind of really become like, it had to be like maybe the 80s, right? Like where like they were making this stuff to put them in to protect them.
That's a good question. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Imagine
someone they always have the spin racks, you know,
right?
Just grab them.
But imagine someone that like just loved their books because they love the stories, jumped on that right away. A collector from maybe the 70s, you know, starts putting in his, you know, giant size X-Men #1 in there, and he's like, "Oh, they have this now for this. I'm going to buy this. I see it at my local comic book shop. I go every week. I'm going to start buying these. Protect my books. It's a new thing." He starts protecting it since that time. I mean, it's, you know. Of course, this is how the collector's mind works, right? You dream of this book somewhere that's never been really touched, and it's in fantastic condition. So, great question, Steve. I love that. It says here, Steve also says, do each of y'all have a favorite comic book that you own?
Yes, I do. Mine is Marvel Spotlight #5.
Which is
Ghost Rider's first appearance.
Right?
I love Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Gabe, what's yours?
Werewolf by Night 32.
Okay.
Nice.
My favorite book.
What else happens in that book? Is there anything specific?
First Moon Knight.
First Moon Knight. There you go. There's your Moon Knight guy.
It's going to explode.
It's going to explode. Oscar Isaac, man. Now they put out official. He announced it. But we knew, you know what I mean? And that training video was kick ass. Yeah. Man, it's tough for me. You know, probably for me, my Preacher #1, because it's like I've loved Preacher. You know, maybe I'll show you that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll show you that. Sure. I don't know that I would ever
have it. Yeah.
And not only that, but I have multiple reading versions because I've got two trades, a hardback, a hardcover. So that might be just for me if I had one, you know, graded book. But yeah, Preacher is a great comic.
You saw that guy Heroes? Man, that guy was like
salivating
for me to get mine graded.
Yeah, signed by Garth. It was just signed by Garth. So.
Yeah, he was like begging me. He was like, please.
So yeah, that might be a good one for me. That's my favorite comic book story, Steve. So that's why that'd be mine for me.
Oh, that's a good one.
Great stuff there, guys. Great comments. What do you think, guys? Ready to get back into it?
Let's get back into it.
Let's get back into the conversation here. Again, we're talking with Gabe, guys. We're talking all things about pressing comic books. That's the process that Gabe does before you send it off to get graded. So you might tell yourself, man, I'm getting in the game barely. I don't even know what grading is. And it's like, well, let me tell you, there's a step to take, a huge step before you do that.
And don't be afraid to ask questions. I'm not here to, to make anybody feel bad or anything. I legit want to help you improve your books.
Yeah, we are 100% not those comic book guys that are like, oh man, you take care of books like shit. It's like, like I said, amongst these two gentlemen, I'm the novice here learning, and I've been doing 70 episodes of this show almost, I think. So you know what I mean. But I've loved comics my whole life. But again, I loved them like we talked about the guy that bought it off the rack and thought it was a cool character, and I just kept it in my collection. And eventually, I learned how to take care of comics, and I started to do my best. But by no means are again. Am I considering sending anything off for grading?
Before it was like,
I told you guys both the story. When people know you like that stuff, they'll just drop stuff off at your door. So like I've literally had
in here.
I'm telling you, I've had milk crates dropped off of comics for these books. My uncle, my great uncle Bill, who's been commented on the show before, mentioned he's dropped some books off to me, literally in pencil, and the inside is his name written on the inside. I'm like, what the fuck is this? But now I know, I think Gabe could take that out. So definitely talk about that.
So
yeah, that pen is done, a done deal. It's over on that.
You can line it up, but it's there.
Do people get those graded still?
Oh yeah,
because it's just still might be a great shape.
Sometimes the value is just so high that even taking that little hit for the pen.
That's interesting. All right, guys, let's get right back into the conversation right now. Guys, if you heard that blip, thanks for hanging out. And of course, if you joined us on Facebook Live, then we didn't go anywhere. We stayed here talking, reading some comments. Great stuff from Friday Nighter Steve asking about what Gabe's the highest quality book he's graded. And Strange Tales 110, first appearance of Doctor Strange. Can you guys imagine? I mean,
I'm still looking for that book.
Ditko, Lee, the guys behind one of the greatest comic book characters. One of your favorites, one of my favorites too. I always tell Double A when I met Stan with my sister, she did Spider-Man hands and I did Doctor Strange hands, which is cool. And I was telling him, and this, I can't remember what documentary I watched, but they said that Ditko drew that like that because that's how he would point to things.
Yeah,
he would say like, give me that pen over there. So that was how he pointed. So I was like, how it's so iconic that's written into those two characters, and that's how they do their thing.
Gabe, have you ever pressed 40s or 50s book?
Yes, I have.
Like war books.
Yeah, a lot of people. There's a lot of war book fans. So they do like to get their books pressed.
Military City USA. So I would imagine.
Sure. How is that quality like compared to maybe a 60s book?
They're a lot rougher.
Oof,
they are. And because of the spines, the way they're made, they're a lot tougher to get out.
Because I just remember because Mario had like a Namor.
Yeah.
From like the 40s, I believe. And I was like, man, I wonder how that looks. And
slabbed or raw?
Yeah, he was slabbed.
It
was slabbed up. Yeah,
interesting.
But it was a high graded one.
I've seen some of
those are a lot tougher because the older the book, the more brittle the paper.
The more brittle. I've seen that.
I was going to say,
I when that crate I told you guys that got dropped to me, it was a bunch of Conans. It was some love, like True Love and like Teen Love comics. And there was also some Western comic books in there. And some of the covers, it was like they were, and I remember when my first eyes were on them, there was like some 10 and 12 centers, but they were literally like, they were so rough, man.
Yeah. And they were breaking
do you even try those?
Oh, yeah, I will. I mean, you can still work on them. You're very limited, again, just because of how brittle the pages are and the books are. But you can still work on a lot of that stuff and get it a lot better.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was like, man, those have to be.
Oh,
I would imagine.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, you can't even open the book all the way sometimes.
Yeah. Can you imagine too, where it's kept? A lot of times, someone's got these in the garage somewhere in a hot attic, and it's either drying. I would imagine drying out, or maybe catching some rowdy moisture. You know what I mean? So,
and if they're not in bags and boards, the dust is absorbing a lot of that.
Yeah.
The the moisture that would have been in the book.
Would have been in the book, right? You know, the limited amount.
Yeah.
So what I want to talk about next, I don't think I'm going way off my questions here, but let me see.
Right.
So let me ask you, well, I'll ask you some of these at the end, but let's talk about what we were just talking about. So the actual process. So now you've cleaned the book, Gabe, and it's ready for you to do what you do, which is press the book.
Yeah.
Now, what equipment are you using to do this? This is because again, this blew my mind. Like I think we learned about this together. When we met you. I was like, you do what to it? Like what? Like, and you were talking about heat, and I was like, that's the enemy. Heat's the enemy.
Yeah,
we've seen these famous comic book collectors, right? Like I think Brett Michaels, right? He supposedly they're in like a fireproof thing. Like people keep them like they would keep their rifles, like in like a fireproof safe. In the event your fucking house burns, your comic books don't burn because they're worth so much. You know what I mean? So that's the extent that people go to that are deep into collecting, that they'll protect their books in a fireproof safe, which is not necessarily dumb. You know, but again, so we're talking about heat. Like, tell me about what you do once it's ready to be pressed. And we'll first talk
after
about
you check them out. Kind of
talk to me about also to the piece of equipment that you're using to do the process.
So once I've already looked at a book and I've got the defects in my mind, I start thinking about reintroducing moisture into the book. Sounds crazy, right?
Yes, it does.
But I'm not just grabbing a glass of water and doing this.
Sure. You know? As I reintroduce moisture into myself, I'm like, oh,
this needs some water. I don't do that. I've created a humidity chamber.
Okay.
Made out of a plastic container and a small steamer that I use to set the book in.
Okay.
What I'll do is I'll leave it in there anywhere between an hour and 4 hours.
Wow. So like a humidifier almost, like what you would keep cigars in.
Yes, you know but something that's doing it really slow.
Okay, right.
Slow process. Right. I don't want to introduce all this water and then the whole book just
definitely
falls apart in your hands. So I'll reintroduce moisture to it. Okay. Once I've gotten it to the point that I feel comfortable with, depending on what I need done, and that's where the experience comes in.
Sure.
Like I said, 1 to 4 hours just depends on what I'm trying to do. Once I've done that, I'll take the book out, make sure it has that feel that I want as far as moisture, and you can feel it. One day I'll do it with you guys around that.
Yeah, I would love to see you.
That way you can kind of feel it. You'll feel the book from its dry state to where you feel the moisture in the book. You're like, okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then from there it'll go into the press.
Okay. So, now, will you do that? Go ahead.
I was gonna say right before this, so like the trial and error had to be a bitch. Huh?
Oh,
there had to be a lot of dollar books that went into that got damaged.
We talked a little bit of pre-show, but I want to ask you.
You're pretty precise now, like an hour to 4. So it's kind of like, okay, well, shit, you probably had to have experimented a little bit.
For sure. I mean, I went probably a good year and a half before I started actually doing the books that had value to me in my collection.
Your own collection.
My own collection.
Right.
Yeah, because at that point I was like, I'm not touching anybody's books.
Yeah.
Forget that, what happens if I ruin it?
Yeah.
I gotta pay for it.
Now give me some of these sucky ass books that you're willing to risk its life. What did you what did you
I mean, I'd go to shows and I'd pick up like Turok's #1. I pick up a whole bunch of indie books nobody ever bought. They were just junk.
Now, would you check? Because obviously you wanted to test your process on like pulp paper versus because glossy stock is, I imagine, way different to work with, right?
Yeah, it is. I pick up all types of books with different defects, and just to try to test them out and see what I can do from different ages.
Sure.
I'd pick up trash golden age books, silver age, bronze age, just to try out, what I could do to, depending on the paper and what it had on it.
Okay. So
and I did ruin a lot of books. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I went a year and a half.
I would imagine you had to.
Oh yeah. No. There were times I purposely
perfect the process.
There were times I purposely ruined the book to see, where my window was.
Right.
I left the book in my humidity chamber for 6 hours just to see how damaged it would get. And it really did get damaged. I touched it and the it literally just
was soaked
like a soaked piece of paper. You go touch it, it was just like come on.
Wow. Okay, interesting. So let me ask you this. Number one, this sounds like you must have already a meticulous nature. Are you like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. See, that's good. That's a quality you would want in someone doing that for you. Now, I guess my next question would be is how did you, before we get more into the actual process, but how did you gain knowledge of this? Is this something that you looked up on YouTube or you knew? I mean, we've been collecting 20 years plus, you and I, and we'd never heard about this until we were talking with you. I think, and we never would have thought to ask Mario about it. I mean, like just not.
Yeah.
If you never think about it, you never know that there's a way. It's either you hope to get a pristine copy, as pristine as you can, or not. You know what I mean? Like,
so back when I was collecting, you know, that's literally what it was. It was either find the condition you wanted or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because back then, and this is 7 years ago.
Yeah,
I got into it. You go find books and you had to find them in the grade you wanted because pressing wasn't even a thing.
Right.
Oh,
You'd say pressing to somebody and they'd be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You'd say grading, you know, oh, I maybe seen a graded book one time.
Sure.
Never seen it before. So, you know, I got into this back in the day because I was like, I was sending books to CGC at the time when nobody was, you know, it wasn't a big thing. But to me, I was the same way. You know, I wanted to protect my books. I didn't care what grade they were.
Yeah.
I wanted them in a case. So I was doing that and paying, you know, CGC to do my pressing for me.
So they had let you know, like on their menu of things you're going to get, hey, there's this process we do. Yeah. And then you became curious about, what is this you're charging me $15 for, you said?
Yeah. And I did it for a long time. I was giving them $15 for every book. And I was sending books off, you know, 10 books, it adds it pretty quick.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I was sending books off and, you know, and it got to a point where the books that were coming back almost looked like they didn't get pressed. You know, like the quality started going down.
Okay.
You know, and I guess that was about the time that grading really started to pick up a little bit. Not a lot, but you started to hear it a lot more.
Yes.
Like, graded book. You know, so the influx of books they were getting was kind of going up, and I was like, okay, well.
And the quality of grading goes down.
The quality of pressing was going down, you know. So then, you know, back then, you didn't have YouTube videos. You didn't have anything other than maybe forums if somebody was talking about it.
Right.
And you know, if you knew somebody, if you happen to know somebody. So luckily, I kind of ran across the whole idea when it came to currency.
Okay.
People collect currency.
Yeah.
They grade currency.
I've seen people iron money before.
Exactly. You know, and that's kind of where the idea came from. So I started to look into that.
Interesting.
You know, and that's where I started to kind of get the ideas of okay, they're using this kind of machine or they're doing this and a humidity chamber. I never even thought about that.
That would never occur. In fact, even right now, I'm learning this now that you say you use something like that.
Yeah,
so
you know, and that's kind of where the idea came from. Now, again, there wasn't a plethora of information out there, so you couldn't go look it up and, you know, see how do I get rid of this, this, you know. Today, you know, you've got tons of information out there that you can go find.
But it could be bad too.
Exactly.
At the same time.
Exactly.
It could be it's like the yoga stuff when that was really big. You know, there's some people that were getting hurt doing it the wrong way,
pulling muscles and breaking the, the shoulders. You know?
I mean, well, just thinking about the money too. It's like people are like, you can iron money. And I'm like, it's like linen or whatever. It's not paper.
Exactly.
I mean, it is in a sense, but the linen. But it's like you can still burn the damn money if you leave it out too long. You know, I've never ironed any money, but you know, just saying.
But exactly, that's where the idea came from, and somewhere along the lines, I came across a forum on CGC of this one guy who did press, and he was like one of 5 people in the United States who did it, you know. And he was kind of talking about the process, and I kind of caught a glimpse of something in the background. I was like, what is that? And it was just this clamshell machine. And I was like, what is that? You know, and I could see the name of the brand, you know. And I went to go look it up, and it turns out it was a T-shirt machine.
A T-shirt machine.
Shit.
You know, the ones you used to press T-shirts.
Yeah. What you would put, like, if I wanted to get a vinyl logo on a T-shirt, I would set it in that thing. So to do that, it's got to be extremely high heat, so when it doesn't come off when you wash it. If you're getting a quality T-shirt, our cousin Alexandria, she does her creations. Page well plugged for her on there, but she does that, and I know that she's using a lot of heat because I've gotten shirts from her, and when they get washed and dried, the stuff doesn't come off. So this is what this guy's using to press books,
and I just kind of caught a glimpse in the back of the photo, and I was like, if that's what he's using, and it made sense once I saw it, and once I looked it up, a T-shirt machine, you know, you can adjust the heat to where you need to. You know, and that's where I went online and I bought one for like, you know, $1,800.
Oh shit!
They weren't as cheap as they are now. You didn't have Amazon and you know, eBay selling these things for cheap. You know, so I had to buy a really good one. So I found a used one, and I still use it to this day.
It's the same one you had.
Nice.
Probably too.
It's one of the same ones.
One of the same. Okay. And so too, I know also sometimes I've seen those, like, you know, you go to corporates. Anyone who's been to corporates, you go to the little shop. They've got like 10 of these, and they put whatever you want, but it's like a little square. So what a perfect amount of space for a comic book.
Exactly.
Go right in there, right? Okay, so now you're hearing it here, guys. the man puts a comic book into a heated press. It's heat on both sides, right? It's 2 plates.
Heat on both sides. Yeah, that one does heat on both sides. A lot of them now just do the one side, so you have to like flip the book. Which also takes time because you got to let the book sit in there.
So this is better then.
Yeah. So it's still my favorite machine that I used to.
I had a buddy that used to work at McDonald's or whatever, and I would ask him about the burgers and stuff like that. This is the kind of dumb shit I asked. But he would tell me that how they could do so many burgers fast at McDonald's is it's a two-sided, it's on heat, like on a griddle, but then there's a big thing. He says a big thing you bring down on top of the burgers that's got heat on top, so it presses them.
Yeah.
See how many you get one of those, Gabe? You can do a whole bunch of books.
Exactly.
Have it your way. You know what I mean? Well, that's Burger King, isn't it? But okay, no, literally. So now hearing this, I'm like, you put it in the t-shirt press, like it's hot, like. To me, it's like going against all the things I've ever known about keep your comic books away from the sun, it's like a gremlin, right? Don't bring it out after midnight. You know, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? So we're both like, I'm on my elbows, like listening to Gabe.
No, I understand because this is really interesting.
What in the fuck are you talking about? Like, how does that not ruin it or lift the ink out or whatever?
Honestly, if it wasn't really for Mario kind of saying like how good this is, I probably wouldn't. If I had just heard about pressing on its own, I probably would have been like, you know. But with Mario, you know, he trusts Gabe with it. I'm like, okay, shit.
And this is a guy that we've trusted for 20 years, and so to know that he did that before sending books off. And guys, when you hear that, and we're gonna have Gabe talk about it too, but when you hear about what a book leaves as and is worth, and then gets redone by him and comes back as and what it's worth, you're like, holy shit. You know, we talked about a little bit in the beginning what the potential can change, but I want to talk about specifics that you've done. So okay, so it goes into let's back a little bit up. So you've got to buy this t-shirt press. You buy it, you get it, it comes to your house.
So I have no idea about using a t-shirt machine. I don't even know how the temperatures work, the settings, whatever, right?
I bet you've never had it over like a certain degree because you've never used it for that.
I was like, well, I cook eggs at this temperature, so I don't want to burn it. It was a lot of trial and error. It was. I mean, the very first book that I put in the machine had no kind of board to support it, no kind of parchment or Teflon paper, nothing. Okay. I literally burned the cover.
Shit. Because burned it off. Like it burnt?
No, like burnt to where, it started to crack.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Because I had the temperature too high. I was like, okay, well, 200 is not going to do it, so let me lower it down.
Yeah.
That was literally my first book, and I still have it. I keep it as a memory.
As a memory.
Hey, this is where it started.
Do you keep it bagged and boarded?
I do.
Yeah, that's cool. I would love to see that. You know what? You guys know we promote all week long with the episode that we've done. So send me that picture. That'd be neat to show our audience as they go scroll through pictures. They'll be like, "What the fuck are we looking at here?" They're gonna be like, "This is what he does do it." I'm like, "No, that's what he used to do to his own stuff."
Yeah, this is what happens when you don't use the right guy.
Exactly. That doesn't do enough trial and error. So okay, so you get to a point now where you learn like I can, I'm sure in the beginning you weren't doing the humidifier method yet. You're just pressing it to get it flatter, take out the wrinkles. Gabe described it a really great way, guys. He called it crow's feet. You can get crow's feet like creases on the book. I see it happen around the staples a lot. Where the staples are at. And the book usually, every book it's usually just 2, right? Have you ever seen more?
It's usually like 2 or maybe 3 if it's really bad, but it'll start from the staple and the crease will go into the book.
Have you graded any of these? Can you guys see right there?
Right,
for our
one
visual,
right here and one right here.
For our audio listeners, we're Double A showing you the side of a book. It's got 2 staples in it. A Justice League book.
See the crow's feet that Gabe is talking about.
Now let me ask you, Gabe. For instance, like right now, there's Turtles. The Last Ronin is hot. It's not stapled. It's a little bit thicker. It's got there's a glue. The pages are glued in, right?
Like this, right?
Yeah. Yes, that's a great example.
Cardstock.
We're looking at cardstock. Yeah, we're looking at guys. Batman Riddler here, and this has a huge like right here. It's been read a lot. So if you guys, we're showing it on the camera, but there's a huge line like where you would.
This is the way the Last Ronin looks. So
and
it's a little bit wider too. It has a different shape. Yeah,
you have to put them in magazine boards because they don't fit regular size. Boards.
So something like this, you see this, and can you work with it? Is there something?
You can work with cardstock.
Okay,
you can.
Okay, and even though the pages are glued in, you're keeping the heat low enough to not unstick the glue.
Instead of working at a higher heat, you work at a lower one and for longer periods. Sometimes you do it 2-3 times just to get it to where you want.
So let me take you on an opposite path. Let's say I bring this to you and I say, Gabe, I want to send this off to get graded. Can you help me? But let's say I open it and the pages are unstuck. Can you fix that? Like, let's say like they're off the spine.
Reglue?
Yeah, reglue.
No. Because CGC will look at that, and if they notice an adhesive on there that is not of that time period, they will know that.
Very interesting.
They will know that you tried to do something to it, and they'll consider it restoration.
They're good at what.
Okay. Exactly. They'll literally put on there spine glued. Restoration. A small amount of glue applied to spine or whatever.
Okay. But you would know what type of glue to use were you to want to. If I said I'm okay with it, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. If it was something somebody just wanted, redone because they're not going to get it sent off or whatever, you could do it.
We talked about hardcovers earlier. I have one like that. Remember I told you about that Punisher Born? When I opened it, I got it from eBay. It was a good price. When I opened it and right away, like the spine fell away from the pages. I was like, I was like, this wasn't in the fucking description, but I was like, it's all right. I've never looked it up, but I always wondered. I was like, I wonder if this could be repaired because it's just literally the pages need to get back glued to the spine. Yeah. But
and a newer book, you can find the glues that they use. Older books is where it gets a little tough.
Right, I'm sure. Yeah. Okay, so you were one day you obviously get to the magic temperature, the magic book. Like how long is this process you're going through? Like of learning? I know you said earlier like a year, but it's just with the heat stuff, and then
it's a year of learning. How long to reintroduce moisture. Let's say I don't want to reintroduce moisture to the whole book, just to one little spot.
Okay, interesting.
That's another thing you can do. So you're not.
Wow.
Not. Damn. The less you have to do, the better.
Sure.
So if you can get away with it, you do it. And it's just a year of testing. The real big testing came from the different ages of books, because the quality of the paper changed between decades.
That's right.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
So it's learning the paper, learning how it reacts to moisture and how long it needs to react to moisture before you put it in the press.
So you've got your process, obviously, from Silver Age books to modern, glossy paper, pulp paper, cardstock. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Awesome, man. And that would imagine that's, again, like I said earlier, a very meticulous nature involved, because anyone that's not, but I would imagine it's the same thing as a guy that's into restoring cars. You know what I mean? It's like, you've got to know, what do? They look and they say those aren't original lights. You can get new lights, that look like the ones, but they're not. They're new. So anyone that would know anything like that, it would definitely be the same thing. Exactly. When you're, doing, or again, like I imagine this is what someone in the art community does that restores art. You know what I mean? You're looking it over, you're cleaning it, and you're having to get it to the right,
the colors,
right colors, right, look and feel,
and the right materials.
Yeah. And again, what do you think about this? Is it in many ways what you're doing is not beat CGC, but get the person the most value for their book, because they're gonna. I'm not saying that they're trying to beat the person buying it or whatever, but they're going to be, like we said, meticulous. They're looking at the freaking glue age. So, which again is true. If I'm buying this and I'm buying it at a high price, I want to know that it's the, it is what it says it is.
It's the very best possible piece that you can finally send them to.
Yes.
Right.
And you can get it back and maybe sell it for a pretty good profit.
Yeah. One day we will be gone.
Or be super excited that you got it in that great.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. One day we'll be gone and it will remain. And hopefully that whoever has it will get its full value. Again, I hate to keep referencing Pawn Stars. It's only because I saw a guy that guy bought, I don't even know his fucking name. It's on sometimes and I want to see what stuff comes in. Yeah. But he bought like some signed Kurt Cobain albums or whatever. Oh, and the guy, he asked him, well, how did you come about these? And the guy's like, I was at a thing and I got these signed by him. I'm like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Cool. So, but you can see at the end of that Unplugged, he walks by and signs some autographs. Yeah, nice. You know what I mean? So it's like it could be out there. But but getting back to it, you want it to be, as high quality as it can be for what it is, you know what I mean? And again, we've seen books that we own that are common books that are graded, but the grade is high and it goes for a lot because in that high. Yeah. It changes it from being maybe even a $10, $15 book to over $100, right?
Yes.
$120 book. I'm like, what
the old Wizard magazines, I don't know if you remember, but they used to show in the back what the value if you send your comics to the CGC. They used to show like it would be worth 10, but if you send it for like a 9 something, it'd be like worth 100.
Yeah.
It was always in the back, and they would tell you the prices, a 9.8 for Black Cat's first appearance. You know,
so getting it graded itself is an expense on you. You're paying to get it graded, so you want to at least be getting back that value in the book.
Yeah.
So, all right, Gabe. So let's fast forward a little bit. Tell us about. So you eventually get your process down. You're confident with what you're doing with your own books, but the next big step is going to be, I think I can press someone's book. So do you put your name out there? Do you go to someone and ask them? Do you go to like a guy like Mario and say, hey, Mario, I see you got some raw, giant size X-Men #1s on the wall. Let me put those in my t-shirt press. And he'll look at you like, get the hell out of my shop, kid. Exactly. What are you, nuts? You know what I mean? But again, I know Mario's a really smart guy. He's probably aware that people are doing things to improve the quality of the book. Because it could be like you told me. Tell me the story again about the book, the Miles Morales book, the Miles Morales book that had the fold in it. This is the first appearance, guys, of Miles Morales, Ultimate Spider-Man,
Ultimate Fallout 4,
Ultimate Fallout #4. Yes, I bought. Well, not me. My dad bought for my nephew to kind of his first piece of his collection that will be his collection. He got into Miles after the end of the Spider-Verse, and my dad was like, I want the first appearance for him. Let's go find it. Went right to Mario. Mario had it on the wall. Yeah. Gave my dad a great deal. I think it's a 9.8. It's gorgeous. Gabe might have pressed it. Maybe there's a very good possibility that you might have because you said that for whatever reason these all came with.
So the first print of Ultimate Fallout 4, they all came in poly bags just like this. Back in the day, it used to be if you collected a book in a poly bag, you left it in the poly bag.
Guys, the death of Superman, the very famous bleeding Superman as
like
black cover.
Such a big deal.
The return of Superman. It's hanging up here. I don't know if we can see it in this.
It is right
there. If you guys see it right above Gabe's head, above Double A's head, right there. It's right there.
Right there. My finger.
Oh, your finger. Where your
right
finger?
There.
I'm pointing to you. It's right here, like for you. The camera's over here. Anyway, that's it, guys. Yeah. That Gabe has let us know is eating itself away.
Open that motherfucker up.
So
tell us why.
It used to be, collectors were like, no, keep it in the poly bag. It's worth more. But this is before grading.
Right.
This is before it became a big thing. Well, it turns out that, some of these poly bags, which contain plastic, weren't made with the best of quality materials. All those little polypropylenes and little plastic particles are getting into your books and turning them yellow. It's eating away at the book slowly.
And this is one of yours, right, man?
This is
this is So will you take it out, Double A?
Well, I have one that's out. So
okay.
They gave me I don't know why. The dude I bought it from eBay sent me that one. He sent me 2 copies. I was like,
cool.
Okay, so I just left it in there. I was like, whatever.
I've also felt too, or I feel like it starts to stick.
Yeah,
if you want to open it, you can open it.
No.
It's not.
That's on you to open.
Yeah.
No,
so a lot of these poly bag issues, they have to seal the bag.
Yeah.
You end up with the seal right in the middle. Every first print Ultimate Fallout came in one of these poly bags.
Damn, that's crazy.
What happens? Everybody left them in there. Every single one that I've seen or have received for pressing has the imprint of the spider.
Okay.
Every single one.
And that's a fairly modern book, right? What are we talking about? Miles has only been around, 10 years?
Yeah, I'm surprised they put it in the bag.
Yeah. That was kind of an old, we saw that with a lot of
90s thing.
Yeah, they did that with the X-Force. There's a bunch of X-Force
image guys.
That way. The Return of Superman, the white poly bag.
Even looking at the front, you can see the poly bag line from the book before it.
Oh, yeah.
This very same book was sitting on top of this book.
Another book.
And there's a line right in the middle of it.
Okay. Now, you can't press a book in a poly bag. It's gonna just melt.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
that's the thing. So if you do take it in, which was something else we didn't know, but if you send it, like you skip the pressing process, you go straight to the CDT, they're gonna open it.
Yeah.
And they're gonna
give it back to you.
They're not gonna give it back to you. No. So leave it in the bag, thinking you're gonna leave it, thinking you're gonna see it cased up in the Death of Superman bag. Nope.
And let me tell you, that cover with the Death of Superman is kind of plain without the
and it doesn't increase the value at all.
At all.
So take it out of the poly bag. What I do is I take everything out of a poly bag. I'll put the poly bag in its separate bagging board just to have it.
Yeah.
And leave the book in its own.
Because this is cool. I used to have it. I sold it in my first collection, but I had that. Y'all know that issue with Superman's fighting Lobo? It still has the long hair, and it had all the stickers.
Open that one up. So so Gabe can see.
We got a few minutes.
So maybe we can show him too, like maybe real quick, all the marks on that bag.
All right, no double A says open, guys. You're seeing it
I
here.
got two of them.
I'm opening up the poly bag for our audio listeners.
It's okay.
Hear
no one's probably even heard of hardware.
I don't know. Tell me about who this guy is.
It's pretty much like almost like an Iron Man version for DC.
Okay, for DC.
Yeah.
Everybody. I know. We should let Gabe open it. Oh, and there's a card in here.
Yeah. You know, they all came with that too.
That was another thing too. Sometimes you would have imprinted cards on the book.
Go ahead.
Wow, because the card is sticking to it. Okay,
take them in the box.
We're gonna hand the book to. Oh, there's a big crease on the back I can see, but I bet you can get that out.
Yeah. So see, just looking at this book real quick, you can see the polybag crease from the polybag that was on top of it, and I'll let you kind of show it to the camera.
Yeah.
But
this one right here in the corner. Here. I'm looking right at where one of the staples is, guys.
Super tight, you know.
But it's not the end of the world, guys. No. Your book has creases.
Take it out of the bag.
You're listening to this now. You're opening up your poly bags because you're like, oh shit, you know what I mean?
Let's see if you can get that glare from right on the front.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna guys, for those of you listening on audio, I'm taking the book to the camera here to see if we can catch a little bit of the glare. And Gabe is seeing the crease. There's a crease right in the middle. In fact, it's hard for me to see with we've got the big light on there too, and it is. I see it now.
You see it?
Yeah, I see it now.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
CGC will find it.
Yeah, there's a line right there,
straight down the middle,
right up his abs,
right down the middle of the book.
And on the back, these are kind of more prominent if you guys can see them. But there's definitely, if you see that one right there by the TV, guys, I'm pointing to there's a big bend right there.
So Gabe, someone that's left it in the bag for about 10 years, it's damaged.
Oh yeah,
right?
It's damaged. Yeah.
Okay.
So to get back to the story of the Ultimate Fallout, one of the first ones I bought was already graded. But what the person did was he took it out of the poly bag and sent it just like that.
Okay.
No pressure, nothing.
Okay.
Came back in 8.5. Grader notes were creased down the front and back of the book.
Okay, now that's a good thing to know that the grader gives you notes on what's wrong with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that we know that.
So I have okay, go ahead.
Guys, let us take a quick break. There's a few comments came in. We're going to take care of those, and then we're going to hear right what Gabe says about grader's notes. I don't want to miss any of this. You get into the conversation. So give us a quick second, and we'll be right back.
And that one if you want. I got another.
Oh, cool. I'll check it out. Yeah. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us here. We're going to look at the comments. We're right about to get into the thing. I don't know if you guys can really see the creasing there going on, but that is what was going on.
Gabe, this one's for you. Steve says, when purchasing, what are the red flags?
Ooh, that's a good one. I say a big red flag is if you ask the person to open the book and they refuse to.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
Because that's going to tell you a few things. And there are things that happen inside a book that you won't see. Rusty on the staples, cutouts. Back then they used to have Marvel value stamps in a lot of books, and people cut them out.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
There used to be a lot of too where you could do your subscription form was on there.
Right.
I'm sure some people actually wrote on that form,
tearing them out. Tearing them out. Yeah. And ASM 238 First Hobgoblin has tattoos in it. Sometimes they're missing.
Yeah.
So those are some red flags. That's my biggest red flag is if I ask somebody, hey, can you open this up so I can look at it? And they say, nah, I want to leave it like that.
Yeah, that's a great question. Great question, Steve.
There's got to be something wrong with it then that you're not letting me look at it.
Yeah, and that matters in comic books, Steve. Like, I don't know, anyone that's ever picked up a magazine and you flip through it and all the shit to subscribe falls out. It's probably been years. We're dating ourselves. But I think even in modern magazines at HEB, you can flip through and stuff will fall out if you depending. In comic books, that matters because a lot of times, the majority of that stuff's stapled inside along with it. So,
or they got the digital codes with the little peel sticker. If that's missing, CGC will note it.
Yeah, the Fortnite comic books I've been buying, I've been redeeming the codes, but I do have a couple that are still in their polybags right now. No, I should ask this when we get back on air, Gabe, but have the polybags changed now? Are they better now or are they the same still? It's still
plastic.
Okay.
I'm sure that I'm using the best.
Remember, guys, they're in polybags. Take them out. You're only damaging your books. So you
got to think they're selling these books for like $1 something to a comic shop, who's reselling them for $3-5. They're not putting that much money into the polybag.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Now, do you put everything in Mylar or are regular standard bag and boards good?
Regular standard bags and boards are good if you plan on changing them out every 5 years.
Oh, that's interesting.
If you don't, like I've done, I recommend just going full Mylar for your collection.
Okay.
If they're higher value books.
Okay.
If there's these reader copies, whatever, regular bag and boards are fine.
Okay.
Just replace them every once in a while. I tell people once you start seeing waves in the plastic, get rid of it.
Yeah, I have some bags that
I can see my Conan one right there actually.
Yeah.
How's it?
Yeah, there's a few on the wall, you know, like the Daredevil. It's got the real bad rippling.
Yeah,
get rid of it.
I have some bags too that I've removed because I've switched them. I did switch them out just because people gave them to me. That way they managed to bag them, but the bag was too big. It felt like dusty, and the bag had already yellowed, so I knew that it was like
the bags and boards aren't that expensive. You go to Heroes, they're about like what $1.
Now, if the bag's yellowing, imagine what the book's doing.
Right. That makes sense. That makes sense too. Let me. What else we got in there?
Justin says the show is very interesting. I love all the rich history. Justin probably would get a kick out of this.
Yeah, thank you so much, Justin, who helped co-design our logo. Nice. Living in Ohio, does a great job, great work up there. He's got some really awesome vinyl and some stickers he sent us recently, and some really rad black and white logos, which I shared with the Dork Dad and his company, Three-Legged Rabbit, who is going to try to slap those on some stuff, I think. Justin says Pawn Stars. Yeah, man, I brought them up several times tonight. Not trying to give them any free plugs, but when you see that, it's interesting, right? But here you're hearing the other side, where a guy like Gabe is he's gonna tell you exactly what to, if you're buying, what to look for, or what you may have already done to it that is making your piece more higher quality. You know what I mean? Excuse me.
It's just like anything that you want to take care of your important stuff. Your video games. You know how they used to have the old cartridges. Used to have the covers for them.
Sliders.
Yeah.
I see that they're grading that now. They'll grade
really?
the game.
They've been doing it for a long time. Really? Super Mario. I think the very first one in 10 sold for what load of money.
It's insane, man. Yeah. They're toys too. I think they're grading toys now.
Yeah. That's back from people collecting Star Wars.
I didn't know that, but I'd never seen like graded. I've never even seen that at shows we've been to. Like graded figures.
No,
they had some at Ekman's.
Did they really? Some graded figures. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Shit, I had a guy trying to sell me a loose Dr. Doom for $60, and it was missing like the gun and the staff. I was like, "Where's it?" Well, he was like, "Oh, it's missing this and that." And I go, "Well, the gun? Where's the gun?" He's like, "Oh, and the gun." I was like, okay, well, $60. I was like,
he's all like, if I had that, it would have been 100.
I was gonna say these are the ones I let my nephew play with. What are you talking about here? So, guys, you guys ready to get back into it? We get all the questions, Double A.
Yeah. So, Steve, liking this.
Steve's bringing the heat. Yeah, guys, thank you guys so much.
Steve, I don't mind.
Yeah, anyone else too out there, if you're just joining us, again, we're talking with Gabe Flores all about the process of pressing a comic book. And again, in order to get your highest possible value out of it. Yeah. But let's get back into that conversation. Guys, thanks for hanging out through that brief blip. Again, talking here with Gabe. And we had just gotten to the part about, what were we saying right before that? You're taking it out of the poly bag. You're ready to, move with that. And what you can do, these creases that we've showed right now, Gabe, this can be fixed. You can fix it.
Yes, because they're not color breaking. Once you break color, that's it. You can't reapply the ink.
Right. Right.
Some people can, and we'll get into that later. But for the most part, any comic presser or cleaner is not going to be able to do anything about a color break. Once the color is broken, it's broken. That's it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We kind of went over this polybag crease, which in the middle of the book, and Ultimate Fallout 4 is synonymous for it. It's every single one has it.
In the back.
So
crazy.
I'm going to show you one. I actually bought this already graded.
Okay.
It was an 8.5, and the grader note said that it had the polybag crease.
That was the one note. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
We were talking about that. If you guys get a book graded, you just heard this. You hadn't heard this episode yet. You sent your books off last week to get graded. And I know it takes a couple of weeks, but let's just say you got them back last week and you're like, oh man, I just sent my books out to get graded. I just took them out of their poly bags and send them off. I didn't do anything else to them.
Yeah.
And you got it back at an 8, your Ultimate Fallout number 4.
So this was an 8.5, and I knew what it was that was damaged, and I knew I could fix it.
Yeah, that was the one. They'll give you notes. They'll tell you why it got that grade, because this, that, and the other. And in this case, it was just that.
Just the polybag crease in the front and the back, And I was like, man, I can get rid of it. It's an 8.5. It's at a really good price because it's an 8.5. The higher the grade, the more it costs.
Sure.
So I see this 8.5, and I make a deal with the guy. Buy the book, I crack it open, I do my thing, and I send it back off.
The almost cardinal sin.
Oh, this is the very same book.
I also own this book. This would be in my list of favorite books if it was mine, but it's my nephew's. The first appearance of Miles Morales, written by Brian Michael Bendis, the man right now. But Into the Spider-Verse came out. And now the star of his own PS5 game, the big coming out PS5 game was that game. It was an 8.
It was an 8.5.
8.5.
Yeah. I think I paid $140 for it.
You're going to spend $140, guys, and it's already graded. Someone invested in this. This is you hear that? That's hard plastic. It's a hard case it's in or whatever. So now tell me about that. Cracking it open. Is it like cracking a lobster shell? Or
No.
Are you using tools?
Yeah, I'm using tools. I'm using blades. I'm using a whole assortment of things just to try to get it open without damaging the book.
Yeah, because this protects it from air, dust. Yes. It's sealed in there. It's sealed in there like a. I don't even really know what to describe it as. That it is sealed in there, but it's an airtight container. Yeah, it's glued and glued closed.
And inside that is an inner well that has been sealed all around.
Okay, so once a book gets graded, you cannot read it anymore. That's it. You're having it now for collectability. Maybe the beauty of the cover, which this one is very cool. You don't see who Spider-Man is. You see the mask in hand, and it's just kind of neat. And you have the Avengers in the background hanging out. So that's cool. But Gabe here, confident in his abilities, cracks open one of these like an otter cracks into a clam to feast on the gooey insides, takes out the book. Guys, this is the meticulous nature I'm talking about. You believe I have this. It's an 8.5.
Which is great.
That's great. But the only note, which they're listed up here in the blue bar.
No, you actually have to go online and request them.
Go online and request why it got the grade. He gets it back. It's one thing only, and it's a thing that he knows he can fix now.
Yeah, so I get the book for $140. I know what the value of this book is in a 9.8. Mm-hmm. If you guys have been following values, I think it's at somewhere just like over 3,000 at a 9.8.
Damn.
Wow.
Right?
Damn.
I'm not following.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what it was last time I checked.
Okay.
So, I crack it, I do my thing, I press it, and it comes back.
Ooh. Oh, there it is, guys.
Damn.
Guys, for our listening audience, Gabe just takes his hands off the grade. He takes the book from an 8 to an 8.5 to a 9.8, guys.
That is a rare number.
0.2 points away from being perfect, a perfect book. And not all he had to do. So tell us about that. It was your book. That's your story.
That's my book.
But when I say your book, I mean more your book, even so in that you brought it up. Its value, raised it up by putting it through your process. Yeah. Now, with just a simple crease, are you going to do the water process, the hydration process?
Yes.
You will.
Yeah.
So that step always in, no matter what?
Not always. Sometimes books are just flat enough where the heat will just do what it needs to do.
Yeah.
You let it sit in there long enough, it'll get it to the point you want it.
Okay.
But this one, because it had the crease in the middle, I did have to apply some steam to it.
A little bit of steam.
And I didn't apply it to the whole book. I just did it where I needed to.
Okay.
And not too much, because again, this is a modern book. Modern books have a lot of ink that they use. So you don't want to saturate it too much, because then when you go, here's another thing. If you wet it too much, a modern book, if you wet it too much and then press it, you're going to get this kind of shrinkage. Like if you sat a cup on a piece of paper, it does
Makes sense. Yeah.
So you can't just go, wet the thing and then try to press it. Okay. So there's a real fine line you got to follow. But I did. I used steam to work it out, and I pressed it, I think, about 2 or 3 times till I got it to a point. And essentially, you hit it right on the nose earlier. You're trying to beat CGC. Yeah. Somebody who's really meticulous about their books, if I know I can't see it, I definitely know they can't see it. They don't have bionic eyes. Right. Right. Their eyes are just like ours.
No, yeah, for sure.
For sure. I mean, that's just amazing. An 8.5 to a 9.8. That's
it changed the value.
That's fucking amazing.
Hundreds of dollars. I mean,
thousands of
dollars. What am I saying? I mean, like that's
what we're saying. An 8.5, which is super great. You can get a lot of money, but 9.8 now you're almost going to get the maximum value.
You're changing what essentially you may think, oh, my most valuable book is this book. It's older. It's whatever. But you're like, no, wrong, because this book just needed a little, in a sense, TLC. You know what I mean? Gabe sends it back off, gets it back at a 9.8, damn near perfect first appearance of Miles Morales. I mean, it's a piece of truly history now.
It's history now,
and it's not the first one I've done. I've done a few for Mario. He's found them in the polybags. He's like, here, they have the crease. Can do your thing.
Yeah, that's incredible. Man.
Like I said, like a guy like Mario knows too. You get a fix up, you sell it more.
Yeah,
you can get more. and just keep selling them.
Same thing, guys. You go buy an old classic Mustang off somebody's lot, you take it back to your house, and the things to do to make it better. You're going to get a lot more for what it's worth once you've restored it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that really is. I mean, again, we say beat CGC, but again, it's like they've assigned it this, otherwise, and you have the ability and you can restore it to its more pristine version of itself, and that's exactly what happened in this case. That's an awesome story, man. That's really cool too. Really kick ass.
Now, what are some horror stories?
Yes, let's hear a little bit about that.
That was a great story.
That's a positive note.
That's
story.
A big positive.
But
everyone's a winner in this one.
With the good must also.
What happens when you take it to someone that doesn't know what they're doing?
So there's a guy I work with now who is pretty regular with sending me books.
Okay.
Really great guy. He's at the shows. I won't mention any names just because I don't want to put anybody on blast or anything.
No, of course.
So he used to have his books priced by. This is after I've already kind of just been working with Mario exclusively.
Okay.
I wasn't doing it to make money. I was just doing it for my own books, and he needed the help. At the same time, he was giving me discounts on books, or I was just trading for books. Like, hey, I do this many books for this one.
Nice.
Save me some money.
Okay.
So this guy had another guy pressing his books in town, a local guy, pressing his books from him. And he had.
Did you know him? Were you aware of him?
Oh, I knew him.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew him. By this time, I was doing my own books, and I was like, hey, do your thing. I'm not trying to.
Right. Each their own.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get it.
There's always enough for everybody, guys.
Yeah,
There's no
exactly.
there is.
And again, I wasn't doing it.
You hear the long process there is. I mean, Gabe could probably only do so many in a day.
For sure. So. Yeah, and you want it done right. I mean, like if he tells me, "Hey, man, I have a lot on my plate right now," I'm like, "Okay,
you want it done right.
Willing to wait, or or you say you find somebody else. Same thing as you go to the grocery store. You go. Fucking HEB's lines are long. You end up at Walmart or whatever. You know what I mean? Sure. It's like the barber. Yeah.
So he this guy had been pressing his books for him, and he was telling me about them, and he's like, hey, can I show you these books? There's some things on here I thought he might have got out, or are they things you can get out? Of course, I look at him, and I know the guy he's using, and the guy is working on a whole bunch of people's books.
Right.
So he's doing quantity.
So it's kind of he's becoming like the CGC, like you were saying.
Yeah. So, and I look at the books, I'm like, hey, some of this stuff could have come out. He goes, okay, thanks. I just needed the advice. So I don't hear from him for maybe like a month or two. As far as pressing goes, I was still buying from him, shopping with him and whatnot. So he comes and he tells me, hey, he goes, I really need somebody to press my books. I'm like, well, didn't you have so-and-so doing your books? He's like, yeah. He goes, well, here's what happened.
Oh, here it comes.
So a show prior to this conversation, I saw the guy at the show, and he had bought a Hulk 181 from another dealer.
Wolverine first appearance.
First appearance of Wolverine in comics, guys. Iconic. Because you have one laying around here, right?
No, that's actually Will's.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you might have just had it stuffed between a couple of in your bookshelf. So
yeah.
This is my golden goose. I've been chasing my white whale of comics. I do not know that I will ever own one unless I hit the lottery. Or
it's worth thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah.
If I become the new Howard Stern, then I maybe will be able to afford a nice one.
For sure.
But we're waiting on that. So, anyways,
so I'm at the show with him, and he goes, "Hey, Gabe, can I show you a book real quick? I'm trying to buy it from this dealer. I just want you to give me an advice, kind of where it is grade wise, so I can put a value on it." So we look at it, and it's a really clean copy. I'm talking about it's at least a 7.0.
Damn.
Oh wow.
And 7.0 in that book is hard to come by.
Yeah. What are you talking about value maybe at that grade right there on its own, just like that?
At that moment,
yeah.
At that moment, it was probably this is probably like a year and a half ago. So this is before prices really went nuts.
Mm-hmm.
In that condition, in raw form, it was probably a $1,500 book.
$1,500.
Yeah.
That's $1,500 for the first person Wolverine.
Yeah.
That's pretty manageable. Raw, not just
that same book
in a bag and a board.
Yeah, same book in today's market in that condition, you're probably looking at $4,500, $5,000.
Shit.
Yeah,
it's going up, booming big time.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So he's trying to make a deal with this guy, and I tell him, it's at least a 7.
Mm-hmm.
I tell him it's at least a 7. It's a really nice book. He goes, all right, because he was willing to pay full price for it just to get the book. And so he does. He buys it. Don't hear from him for a month or two, and then he comes and he's like, I need somebody to press my book. I go, why? What happened? He goes, remember that Hulk 181 I bought? I was like, oh yeah. How'd it come out? And he goes, the cover got ripped.
Oh.
And I was like, what?
This is my second time hearing this story. It doesn't get easier to hear. Let me tell you guys, because that's like. I don't know what that
book is gone. Like if you're a big comic book collector, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's
and
like,
he brought it and he showed it to me, and I was like, I was holding the book like, I just felt bad. I felt bad.
Cover ripped off.
Not ripped off completely, but from the bottom to about halfway up the book was.
So essentially, what this presser did was when he lifted it off. Well, number one. There was
how did that happen?
Yeah, how did that happen?
How did that happen?
So you know right away looking at it, you're like, I know what happened.
The only thing I can think of is, he might have introduced a little too much water to it, and when he went to clamp down on the press, he clamped it down too hard, because what happens is any press, unless it's like one of those with the spinning wheel that just goes straight down, anyone, as soon as you close them and you clamp it, it's gonna do this. That's exaggerated, but it's gonna do this.
Okay, a little slide.
Yeah, a little minute. Now, when you're talking about high like pressure, when you're clamping it down and you do that, it only takes a little bit to just,
Okay.
Because I did it when I was practicing.
I was gonna say,
I did it. So that was the only thing I could tell him. I was like, hey, I honestly think, it was, the book was probably too wet, and he had too much pressure on that thing when he tried to clamp it down, and it just got past the book.
So it makes me here. I thought right away it was like too much heat, and the heat stuck. But I guess that
no, he didn't find out it happened until he opened it, and shit, the front cover literally just flipped.
And this again, this is not necessarily a shot on this guy, but I have this question here. I wrote risks. Tell us some of the risks or whatever. You know what I mean? And this is a risk. This guy might have just been doing a lot of books, or gal might have been a guy or gal might have been doing a lot of books. Might have been under deadline, who knows what the situation would have been, and that made that one miscalculation, that slight. And I'm sure we can get to it too, but Gabe would say, obviously you're not perfect. I'm sure you've obviously had your mishaps as well.
Nothing to that extent.
Right. Well, with value and again, with each item that comes in, I'm sure depending on what it is, it does cause you to take extra care.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there are times I've given somebody back a book and I just forgot to get something out or clean something, and they'll tell me, hey, this is
okay.
You know what?
Understood.
Yeah. It's happened a few times, but I'm like, give it back to me. Let me do it again, and then get back to me completely happy.
Right. And this story is interesting as well because you witnessed it in the raw form. So you witnessed it at what it once was, and then to see it go through a truly tragic, experience.
I literally looked at him. I was like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I mean, guys,
I'm sorry for your loss.
If you're in our game, seriously, that's
the way it is. It's like,
again, but this is so that people do understand that there are risks that are involved, things that can happen. We do not think with Gabe, but you know what I mean?
No, but it is something that if you take it to some guy, maybe, and you're like, I could do 10 of them, in one day.
Right. Understand that it is a process and it takes time. Like, again, I can't get back enough to like a restoration of art. You know what I mean? That's essentially what it is, guys. It's paper and ink and sometimes, what did we say earlier? The other one was the harder one, the cardstock, right? And I mean, like, your things that you've held in your hands and you're familiar with or whatever. But again, these have can have a lot of value, so you want to treat it like,
especially if you pay for something. Like I'm sure this part, a 181, you just don't find it for $50. A good solid issue.
And I saw him pay the $1,500 for it. The guy.
See, there you go.
He paid full value of what the guy was asking for that book.
Maybe he made something, maybe 1,000.
Maybe he did hold on to it long enough to where it jumped it. He was able to kind of make most of his money back, but at that moment, he lost out on a lot.
Yeah, with what happened to it, it was a total loss. You know what I mean? It was like
that's how much damage it can do. So
I wonder what he did with it.
No, he sold it. He sold it.
Somebody was still willing to.
Yeah, he sold it raw and for a discount in today's market. But he was able to make a little bit of his money.
A little bit back.
And honestly, if I could afford it, I probably would have bought it.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. It crossed my mind.
Just to have that cover in there.
The potential of having a 7.0 or better in today's market.
Yeah.
You're talking $5-6 grand.
Easy. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And this guy's a dealer, so he is literally looking for the value in the book so he can resell it.
Exactly.
He's not collecting like any of us do.
Right. So let me ask you this. Gabe, I don't know if this is a factor, but we talked about how with CGC, a book comes in and it's a particular type of book. It's going to require more care, more whatever. It's, Amazing Spider-Man #1. In your own prices, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit if you're okay with that.
Yeah, go
ahead. Is everything a flat rate, or does it depend a little bit on the book?
It does depend on the book.
Okay. No, understood. That makes
the
sense.
way I kind of function is like I would my very own books. I don't just press a book without cleaning it.
Mm-hmm.
They go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I don't charge for the cleaning.
Okay.
Unless it's something really expensive, a really old book, or it's going to take me a while to get it clean. But a book off the shelf or something a little Silver Age, the cleaning is included.
Okay.
$15 and you got a clean press book. It's ready to go to CGC.
Tell me how much to press hardwire #1 here.
That would be a $15 book.
$15.
Yeah, even with the cruiser that has.
Okay. No, that's good. Well, you want to also. I'm sure you would tell someone. Have you seen that? Have you seen where someone hands you a book and it's like it doesn't really need anything? Like you're like, you know what, this is okay. You probably could send it now.
Yeah, okay. I have, and I've run
even just a simple clean to get rid of the fingerprints.
Yeah, exactly. Because like I said, there are 4 or 5 people who have touched your book like this before you. Before you, even though it's in a bag and board.
Touched it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even though it's in a bag and board. The production people who created the book put them in boxes.
Sure.
The people who got them out of boxes at the shop put them in bags.
Yeah.
Put them in like this. So a lot of times you're going to find fingerprints at the top that people don't even think about.
Yeah. If you're at a shop that bags and boards them for you, that's not always enough.
You do.
You ever see those ones where they're cutting open the box and it just goes too deep? And you're just like, oh, these first couple issues got this slice.
And these are free.
Those are just you get those to go.
Yeah, for sure. But even something as simple as that, people don't think about, like there are fingerprints on this book that need to come off.
So you heard it right there, guys. $15 could make a vast amount of difference in the value of the book. Gabe's going to take his time with this. How many hours of your labor time are going to go into this hardware #1?
Collectively, because most of it's going to, some of it is going to be spent with it just sitting in the press, and I'll go do something else. And not bother with it.
Right.
So about a book like this off the shelf, barely anything done to it, maybe like 30 minutes of cleaning.
Okay.
And then another maybe like 45 to an hour in my humidity chamber before it goes into the press.
Okay, cool. And then you're done. It's done in the press. You're gonna bag and board it up your way, and then you're ready to return it to the person.
Yeah, and I'll return it to them. I like to hand things to people just so they can see them.
Yeah, and inspect it.
Yeah, inspect it.
Now they're not going to want to take it out, right?
No,
will you have them take it out? No,
they can if they want, or I always tell them like, let me do it. And, And the way I bag and board them, I do it to where there's a board in the middle to give it support, but then I'll just slide the backboard out so they can see it without touching it.
The front and back.
Yeah.
Okay. And so let me ask you a question. You're going through the book, and let's say you do see like dog ear pages, things like that. That will get fixed in the pressing process.
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to squeeze all that out pretty much. Yeah. Okay. It sounds funny, right? Squeeze it out. Like, I don't know how it works. But I was wondering about the internal, how much goes into the internal process. But it sounds to me like CGC does grade a lot based on what they see on the front and the back.
Yeah, that's mainly what they look at. They'll look at the front and back, flip it real quick, make sure there's no any tears,
missing pages.
I think with the amount of books they have, that like there are times they miss things in there,
especially now.
Yeah,
a lot of the thing we heard about even from Mario when we had him on was about the clean white pages. It says on that bar, if you're buying a graded book, you see that, so you're looking for that when you're shopping for books that you're going to potentially get graded, because that is white pages are always worth more. So
and more and more
especially
people,
in older books.
More and more people are just getting them graded. At Ekman's, I saw so many vendors having their stuff in there. The other shop we went to at Traders, the one up Mario's, remember he had graded books of like newer books. It was like a Venom one that just came out. It was already graded at 9.8. I was like.
And they've got long boxes of or short boxes designed, which is what we call when you keep your comic books in, for graded books. They made the size.
Mario showed us
that. That was pretty cool. I own only 3 graded books, so for me it would be like, I don't know if I'm ready to invest in one box yet, but I know if I invest in the damn box, I'll be like, I need to fill this box.
Fill it up. There you go.
So maybe potentially that could happen. But I've never sent the book off of my own, so that would be an interesting concept for me to do. But if I was going to do it, I definitely take it to Gabe first to get it cleaned and then pressed,
guys. From an 8.5 to a 9.8, on a new one, that's outstanding.
Yeah,
it really is.
And a key book like that. I mean, it's Miles Morales.
Yeah,
totally.
I mean, it's the difference between 140 to 3,000.
And that's the way I kind of looked at it when I was doing my own grading with CGC. I was like, it's $15, but that $15 is increasing the value so much in the book. Like,
absolutely.
To me, it was worth it.
You're improving your investment. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So Gabe, let me ask you, what is the priciest press you've done? That meaning that a book that came into you that you charged someone, like, if you don't mind talking about that.
It was probably that ASM, just because it's such an older book. It took me so much longer to clean it.
This is a 12 center.
Yeah, I had to be so delicate with that book. It just, the time involved in it was pretty intense.
Yeah.
I did charge the guy $100 for 2. He's more than happy. I mean, you think about the book coming back.
The chances are, if you own this book,
I know
you got a little cash.
You got money on it.
Yeah, for sure. And he's like, no problem. Just do what you need to do.
Dude, that's awesome.
So he was probably like, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, yeah, I thought there should be more.
Yeah. But, so, give me on average though. On average, people bring you. What do people bring you a lot of? Are people bringing you a lot of Silver Age? Or are they bringing you a lot of
a mixture?
It is a real mix.
It
okay.
Is, yeah, I've gotten. Really
you ever done an Ultimate Spider-Man #1?
Ultimate Spider-Man #1.
Because that one's became like a big old book.
Yeah.
The Bendis one where they started the Ultimate.
He's kind of got his feet up, and then he's like,
exactly.
Yeah.
But you know how that one became more like it was like a rare modern one that just blew up.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember. I have one of those.
I have done those.
Yeah, you have done that. Now, so what would you say is like your average range? 15 to. Is there a $15 to price?
So for like modern books, I usually do it. If it's a person that uses me quite often, like if you develop a relationship, I'll normally give you a price break.
Okay.
On modern books,
Okay.
Older books, it just depends on how dirty and how much work
the condition of the book. Okay.
Exactly.
So it's each case by case, and that's
I
feel like that'll be a question we're going to get a lot. It's like, well, what does he charge?
But for the most part, it's like $15 unless it's something really, something really, really bad.
No. That makes perfect sense. Very cool, man.
Again, he's increasing the value of the comic.
Totally.
So, I mean, you're gonna get it back if that's your intention. So,
Gabe, how long have you been collecting? You said since you were, with your brother. You imagine a young man. You know what I mean? Like since you were, like how old did you say?
I was probably about, I want to say 12 to 13.
12 to 13.
When I started getting into it, and my very, very, very first book that I bought was a Spawn #1.
Oh,
it had already been out.
This guy too.
It had already been out.
I always love when people can remember their first one because I can't remember my first comic.
Yeah, but my brothers were like, any first appearance or first issue, sometimes they go up in value. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy this. And I bought it.
The cult of #1, right? Like, gotta get a #1.
Exactly.
And can I ask you your age? So I could.
I was about 12.
But your age now?
Oh, I'm 35.
35. Okay, so you get a range of how long you've been collecting. So 20 years, pretty much.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of like 20, 25 years. We're probably closer to 30 years now, right? Aren't we? You and me.
10 to about 34.
So for me too, because I was going to say from a little bit younger, like 8 or 9, and I'm about 39 now. So
So I didn't start collecting back then. Back then, I was just buying things to read, and I wasn't into like the really big books.
And that's how we did it too.
Yeah,
we were kind of
but I mean, there wasn't really anything like valuable. Like it was like the #1s were hot.
Yeah,
and like certain characters were popular, but like I said, that Deadpool when I got it was like $10 when I bought it. He wasn't worth shit for a long time.
It's funny that we kind of lived. Well, all three of us would say we lived through that little renaissance of like the Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, McFarlane time when they were nobody, then became somebody at Marvel of places, and then drew these amazing images that we still see to this day on shirts and everywhere else. And then you move into the Image time, and it's like that whole era we like lived through that or whatever, so it's pretty incredible. You got a favorite superhero? Who's your guy?
Favorite superhero, I'm gonna have to say Moon Knight and Spawn are probably like right there.
I love that because I've never heard anyone say Moon Knight, and that's cool. And I'm getting ready to get probably hyped for him because the movie just seeing Oscar Isaac train look fucking cool. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be so good. And if they keep it like that,
those 70s covers look fucking amazing.
I always thought he looked
wanted to buy
striking.
It just for that.
He always looked very. I was like, this is a very striking looking character. Like I thought it was a great design. That's what Marvel did, right?
And I love anti-heroes. He's like a Punisher type. He doesn't follow any rules. He just kind of goes by his own beat.
One of the few Marvel guys in the cape that can make it work. Because Marvel, we feel like Marvel guys don't really do capes.
For sure.
They
don't do capes
for sure. Well, guys, we're right up against our next break. Let's take that break. We're going to come right back. We'll wrap things up here with Gabe. Open up the floor for any questions anyone might want to ask Gabe directly or us, or just join the conversation, and we'll just chit-chat it out on the till the end with you guys. And then we'll call it a night. Let this man get back home to pressing the issues, because they need to be pressed. Yeah. All right, guys, we'll be right back in a blip of a second if you're listening to us on audio. And again, if you are listening to us on audio, I apologize for the visual heavy episode, but I thought it was important to bring Gabe on and talk about this really, really amazing process that can be done to potentially turn your books into a highly more valued commodity that you're investing in. And if you're a comic book guy, like we're all comic book guys, you want your comic books to be in the best possible shape they're going to be in if you're going to get them graded. And if you go through the process with Gabe, I would say, do you have people press Gabe and get them pressed and don't grade? They just get them pressed?
They just tons of people who are
they want it just sharp.
Anti-graders, they like.
Oh, right. Those people.
They're like, no, it needs to be raw so I can read it. I was like, well, you can read a facsimile or you can read it online, but
or trade. Reading online for me is weird too, whatever. But you're right. I wouldn't have you clean and press it if I was going to keep reading. That wouldn't make any sense to me.
But there are guys who just love their books raw and they want it to look pristine in raw condition.
I mean, again, I still have that fear of like sending off. Like it's like,
it's nerve-wracking, but after the first few times, it's like,
I imagine I don't, again, I don't have children of my own, but I imagine like you guys, they're gonna have a sleepover. It's like, I gotta go leave my kids somewhere. Like, I don't know. Even at your cousin's house, you're like, I don't know about that.
Now it's to the point, it's like, get out of here. I can go do something.
Exactly. I'm like that with my nephew, and he's like, he's not truly, he is mine in a sense he's mine, but I'm like, what? I don't know why you going anywhere, But guys, hang out more with us. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back in the last 30 minutes. We'll hang out with Gabe and we'll just shoot the breeze and shoot the shit. Ask any questions you guys want to ask. We'll be right back.
If you guys have any questions, I know you guys are taking their questions.
Yeah.
If you have any questions,
ask, totally, man, totally.
I'd love to answer them.
Absolutely, let's do that too. We'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, if you're with us on Facebook Live, we didn't go anywhere. We're still here hanging out. Gabe's drinking coffee. I'm drinking water tonight. Double A's drinking nothing tonight, actually.
I'm supporting you, Sam.
Thank you very much. Hey, man, you don't have to do that. I'm good. I'm strong in my thing.
If we want to be straight edge, we're going to be straight edge.
Straight edge together. There we go. We're going all the way, right? Let's get into it. Looks like a few comments came in. Guys, and we know things are slowing down a little bit.
Okay, no. Steve has a good question here.
Great.
He goes, I'm very new at the purchasing comics. To be honest, I'm only looking for high quality comics. I'm sure I will be purchasing for Mario because of his reputation. Impressive Gabe for the 9.8. Double A with the horror story. And any type of comic insurance out there.
That's an interesting question.
I think there have been.
No, there's a few good ones. If you go research it, there's about 2 that really pop up.
Okay.
And they literally just insure any of your collectibles. All you gotta do is take pictures and they give them a value and they give you a price. I think there was one guy who had like a $25,000 collection that he valued at, and he was paying about $300 and something for the year.
That's not too bad.
That's not bad.
That's
not bad that collection.
You just never know, right?
But that's insurance in case something happens. You can recoup.
Sure, totally. So there's I did not know that, Steve. So that's a good one.
Yeah, Steve is going to go into.
Steve, let me ask you something. We've talked about this more. I know you're looking for Herculoids, but are you looking to buy graded books, Steve, or are you looking to buy books in their raw form and then get them graded? Just give us a little idea of what you think you might be looking for.
There's 2 ways you can go about that as a collector, because I do the same. There are just some books that I am willing to pay already graded, because I don't have to worry about cleaning, pressing, or worrying about what grade it's going to be. It's at a price point that I'm happy with for the grade. So I do buy books that are already graded.
Sure.
But there are also, and this is just coming from my end because I do press books. There are books that I'm like, I look for certain ones in high grade because I know I can do what I need to and get them in a condition that I'm happy with.
What would be the lowest grade you would buy at, Gabe, that you would consider cracking and would you call it flipping? Would we call it flipping it? Like you're
Sure.
Honestly, there's no grade I wouldn't crack open.
Really?
Yeah.
So even a mid grade of 5 that you were like, that's probably a lot wrong with it. You still give it a shot.
Yeah, no. I mean, if I can look at it and see that there are things that I can get rid of or improve, I'm gonna do it.
Let me ask you a question. We talked about the notes, right, from CGC. If I buy a graded book from you, can I look up the notes on that book? It's like tied to the book, right? The notes?
It's tied. Well,
or
CGC,
to the buyer.
CGC is it's mainly to the buyer because you have to create an account.
Okay.
And once you have that account, whatever book you get graded, you can go back and look up.
Okay.
Everything else you're gonna have to pay. I think it's like $5 to get the graded notes for.
Okay.
CBCS on the other hand is great because they put the graded notes right on the book.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and what they do is they have this little QR code right in the back.
Mm-hmm.
If you scan it,
you get it right.
Bring
there.
up the website and get all your notes.
That's pretty beneficial. I have to admit though, I think I saw some of those. And I was thrown off by how the bar looked different because I'm so used to seeing that CGC blue bar and the way it looks. And I was like, what's that one? Who graded that one? Like it was throwing me off a little bit. I saw a couple. And this is the first show I can remember actually seeing those at. Yeah. So I was a little bit like, what the hell?
CBCS has been around for a while. The guy who started CBCS used to work at CGC and split off.
Okay.
And CBCS is actually located in Dallas, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that right?
Yeah, they're pretty local to Texas.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is.
They've got a reputation for grading a lot harder than CGC does.
Interesting.
Wow.
Interesting.
So a lot of dealers, and this is just from talking to them and buying and whatever. A lot of dealers are valuing books the same now, and buyers are buying them.
Really? That's pretty badass.
The Champions #1 I told you I bought, which is like a $1,500 book.
Yeah.
I bought it in a CBCS flat.
Okay.
Because the value is still there.
That's right. That's right. It's interesting, man. Damn, I didn't know that, and I haven't been that familiar with them.
Steve says he's interested in the graded ones. So which Mario has
Mario has some great stuff, and Mario's such a great guy when it comes to buying from him.
Yeah.
He's always gonna give you a deal.
Steve just hit him up. He's always working.
Yeah, he is. And
like I said, I just purchased 3 comics from him that I've been looking for, and he found them for me.
Yeah. Look up Authority Comics on Facebook and message him.
You can, and also again, Steve, if you would have had a chance, and I should have let you know to make it out to the show we went to this past weekend. Man, just to walk around and really absorb it, and even just to maybe put your eyes on something that you were interested in. The stand where Gabe was kind of headquartering himself at, Rick's Comic Crypt. Rick is another great, who has he has this book. That's right, he had it up there graded, and it was so beautiful amongst other books that are just again, I know you have your own taste, you know what I mean? So and to each their own. For me, it's like Marvel superheroes will always do it. When I just lay my eyes on those books, I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? Like I have to admit, probably key DC stuff I wouldn't recognize just by the cover alone.
Oh yeah.
But things like Journey into Mystery, this one, those Marvel covers to me are just iconic. I'm going to recognize them right away, and it's something to see.
And even some of the newer stuff that's popping up because characters going into production that that you're like, oh wait, that's in there.
Yeah, totally.
And Rick's another great dealer. I was buying from him for so long before.
Same here.
We talk about that too.
Same here.
I used to look forward to. And he's getting into the graded thing a lot. That's just the way the market's going.
Sure.
It is.
Sure.
We talked about that with Mario. We're like, that's just the next evolution that's going.
For sure. But man, I used to look forward to shows, and if he was there, I knew I could get raw books at great prices, and he was going to give me a break.
We first met him at Ike and Jay's. Is that where you hit him up first?
No, I met him actually at Ekman's.
Oh, at Ekman's.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, it was Ekman's.
He used to be. He was working in this shop at off Austin Highway called Ike and Jay's. It was so cool. You just showed me the book that had it on there, had the sticker from there on there. But these guys, him and his brothers, made out like bandits with a bunch of books out there.
I didn't meet him till he was already away from the shop, and he was just doing shows.
Yeah,
and Mario was the one like, hey, go check out Rick. He's got some great stuff all the time, and I would go dig into his boxes, man. And at the time, I was still specking on books, and he would ask me, what's that? And I would tell him,
that's cool.
But I'm buying it now.
Exactly.
It's mine now.
Yeah. And it's awesome, too. He told me he got out of the game for a while and got back into it.
He told us, too, the connection he had with Mario, too.
Yeah, that's a great story. Mario told that story. I kind of helped him start out with their first shop, him and Pete. So it's a very cool story. Yeah, Steve, anytime, man. If you have any questions like that, feel free to give me a call. I can give you Gabe's number. I can give you Mario's number and Rick's number. Rick and Mario, all 3 of these guys are all on Facebook. Just search them. Gabe, you need to get like a page. You have like a
I do need to, page. I say that, but then I'm like,
well, you don't want to also get bogged down, right? Where it's like too much.
There's a fine line, and at this point, when I first started, I had the one press. I'm up to 5 now.
Damn. Oh, no shit. Okay, cool.
With a couple of them that'll hold more than one book.
Oh, nice.
You know, and that's because I'm doing so much work for a couple guys, and they keep me pretty busy. And I tell them like, hey, you know, I never did this for the money. Right. I do it because I enjoy it, for one.
Absolutely.
You guys benefit because you get to resell the books that I'm pressing.
Sure.
And at the same time, you're funding my hobby, which I love to spend money on.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I can't remember how many times I've told Mario and I've told this guy that I used to think like, man, Mario lives the dream. Like he sits around comics all day, he can set his own hours, he can do his own thing. Like owning a shop to me was like, you know, the dream come true, whatever, because it's kind of like you said, doing what you love. Like, you know what I mean? Sure. But like I said, what you're doing, it requires, I think, a very meticulous nature. I don't know that I have that type of patience and even to endure the heartbreak of getting one wrong. I mean, even if it was my own, I'd be like, what have I done? You know, but I know eventually there was a point where you had to take that risk, where you had to say, there was a day when you put in a high value book that wasn't yours. And I'm sure that day was a fucking scary day. Like, fuck, you know what I mean? Like, you know, balls are in my throat type thing. Like, oh God, please don't let this be the one that goes wrong.
Exactly. There were, but you know, those guys keep me busy, and I tell them, you know, and I tell other people, I'm never going to do this to a point where I'm trying to do quantity.
Right.
So your books are going to get done right in the time they need to be done.
That's perfect, man. Yeah. I always tell people that too. To me, it's always quality over quantity, because when you do it the other way, something gets lost.
Yeah. And there's so many people now who are, you know, pressing books.
Sure.
You know, all it takes is one to go wrong. And if you go onto the pages, Facebook pages, and join some of these groups where they're doing that, you hear countless horror stories.
Oh my God.
Where they're just putting people on blast from different towns, different states. You're like, hey, this dude did
and it just takes one, right? One bad experience. And you know what's good is that you come to us with the highest pedigree, with coming from Mario, who we've trusted for, again, 25 years. So for him to be like, well, anytime I see someone behind his counter, I'm like, oh, he trusts them. You know what I mean? So that's man, a lot.
I can't say enough about Mario. He was pretty instrumental in me getting to this point, because at first, like I said, I was just doing it for my books. And it began with like, hey, can you do these for me? Hey, I got a customer I really want to do these for. Can you do these for me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey, I really want you to start doing my books. You think you can handle it? I was like, well, let me get some more machines, and then, you know, let's go about it.
There you go, man.
And the great thing about the guys that I work with now is they understand where I'm coming from. You know, they understand that I am not gonna be the fastest guy.
Sure.
I'm not gonna get it back to you the next day, but you know, it's gonna take a week. But you're going to get your books in so much better condition than they were. And you're going to know that I cleaned them and pressed them like I would now.
I would think someone that loves their item, at least a small amount, even if it's just to make the money back that you bought for it, you're going to have patience. You know what I mean? Especially with that, you know, especially if you know what you're getting into, you're understanding that I'm giving this to someone to apply moisture to and heat to, and that's a commitment that you need to understand that, and you would want to be as patient as you possibly can with it. Great stuff. Steve says, thanks guys. Good show. Cool show. Good night. Thanks, Steve, for being with us.
Steve really took him and Justin really took to this one.
We really appreciate you guys hanging out. Yeah. And let's get back in and record this last block for the night. And then we'll call it a night, guys, and let everybody get back home and do their own thing. So give me a second here to get us going, and we'll get right back into it and round it out. All right, guys, if you just came back from that little brief blip of a break and listening to us on audio, again, my apologies for the visual heavy episode, but again, I wanted to talk with Gabe Flores, who we have in the house, and the instrumental process of pressing a book before getting it graded, or even maybe pressing it for your own collection if you don't plan to read it anymore and you're not ready to send it off somewhere, but you want to give it to someone that you know will treat it with love, respect, and care while it sits in your collection. Gabe is definitely the man to do that, I think. Again, we had just said during the break that, you know, comes with the highest possible pedigree, coming from Mario Delgado himself, Authority Comics. You know, when you meet a guy behind Mario's in his shop, when he had it behind his counter, you know that's a guy that he trusts, you know. So Double A, any last things that you think that we want to talk about, or questions you have for Gabe or anything like that?
No, I think you answered.
You hit my whole list, Gabe, on that. But tell us real quick though, where people can find you at, if you want them to hit you up on any type of social media, or maybe where they can see pictures of your work or things that you've done.
Yeah. On my you can find me on Facebook. I'll be happy to provide you as many pictures as I can of different books I've worked on.
Yeah. Cool.
You know, I like to keep things a little bit more personal.
Sure.
You know, I like, again, I don't want to turn this into a thing where people are like, hey, here's 20 books.
Yes, exactly.
You know, I don't want to do that. So if somebody's really interested and they want to go about it, you know, I'll be happy to answer as many questions as I can, provide as many pictures as I can, and, you know, just go from there. You know, I'd like to help them out.
Totally. And guys, we're going to open ourselves up here at Just Another Friday Night. Anywhere you can find us, usually at Just Another Friday Night Podcast, at JFN Podcast on Instagram, Twitter. If you would like to get in touch with Gabe and you can't find him on Facebook, hit us up and we're happy to make the connection for you. Set up some type of.
I'll give you my number. That's fine.
Yeah, he'll give you his number. We can give you his number.
Just don't call me at midnight.
Just don't call me at midnight. The man is a family man. The man does have a wife and kids. So please be respectful of that. But
that's my gaming time.
There you go. We're happy to share that information with you. So again, we'll make ourselves kind of a bridge here between you guys and Gabe if you need to get his information, or if you need us to help you find him on Facebook, and you can message him directly with your questions, wanting pictures. I added him recently to a Facebook group that I got added to by the Dork Dad Lucky. I was meandering around in that group, hanging out or whatever, and happened to see somebody ask for pressing. And I immediately thought of this guy. I was like, oh, damn it, I can't send him this, share this to him because he's not in the group. So I added him to the group, and you put up some great pictures right away of the difference between two types of books. Just an open invite.
Water damage, people. You know, curved, thick book, you know, giant size book. It was a Hulk book, I think.
Yeah, some cool stuff, man.
Some great stuff in there. Yeah, and you know, I'll kind of touch on a few things before.
No, totally. Yeah, man. Let's hear it.
So a couple things, you know, little tidbits of advice. You know, if you're gonna get anything pressed, find out about the person who's doing it.
Okay.
Find out how long they've been doing it. See if they're vetted. See if they're on any pages that people can vouch for them for. You know,
that's a great move.
And you know, because you are sending them money essentially.
Yeah, you sure are.
Yeah,
literally and figuratively. You know, your book is worth money. The money you're sending them is money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so make sure they're vetted and you know, they've got a lot of experience, and see what they can do.
Yeah,
you know, some people are just at the point where all they're doing is just pressing. Other people are taking it to the next level. You know I'm doing a little bit of a restoration to books, but professional restoration.
Sure.
I'm talking about, like, you know, the techniques that people use for paintings.
Okay.
You know, things like that. You know, so there's so much more to learn. You know, it's paper.
Yeah,
it's paper.
Yeah,
you learn it. You figure out what you can and can't do.
Right.
You know, I've recently, you know, started working on foxing. You know, I never thought you could get rid of foxing.
Explain that to me. What is
foxing? Are those little red dots that you see on white paper sometimes?
Interesting. Okay.
Essentially, it's a type of mold.
Okay.
What it is.
Okay.
You know, and I recently did a book for Mario. It was Captain America 4. First Silver Age appearance of Captain America.
Nice.
Had some foxing on it, you know, and from what he gave it to me as to when he got it back, I mean, it looked a hell of a lot better.
Damn.
That is awesome, man.
Nice.
One more thing, like I said, guys, we're learning too, so that's really
you know, comic books evolved into grading and pressing.
Mm-hmm.
Grading and pressing is evolving continuously. There are still things I'm learning, different techniques. You know, the more information that's being put out there, the more I'm able to hone my craft.
So let me ask you, do you do, or have you considered doing any type of your own YouTube tutorials? I mean, like, that seems to be, I mean, like, I would imagine, and, you know, guys make money on YouTube now, advertising and things like that. I mean, if you're the one guy that people can kind of come to and check those videos out, and you're hitting 1 million views, I mean, like, that's an additional, because, I mean, you know, it's great that we have you here with us in San Antonio, but can you imagine if you're hitting the Dallas market, you're hitting, you know, Houston and outside of Texas, you know, people were like, man, I go to Gabe's videos because literally I'm not a car guy, but I've done shit on my girlfriend's car because I watch YouTube videos. Exactly. I write these guys a review. I'm like, man, thank you so much. Like, fucking amazing. You know what I mean? I don't pay any money,
but I fix my AC watching the YouTube video.
Yeah, no shit. See, I mean, there you go. I mean, but have you considered that, or is that something that you...
It's definitely in the future, but you know, you kind of mentioned it earlier. I'm real meticulous, and I've got this thing, and I preach it to my kids all the time. It's like, if you're going to do something, do it 100%.
Right.
I don't care if it's taking out the trash or going to school, whatever it is you're doing, put everything you got into it.
That's great advice.
So when I get to that point that I am going to do it, I want to do it fully,
sure,
and do it right.
And let me tell you, there's a thing about that too, right? Because I see so many guys do stuff with their camera in their hand, and I'm like, your phone camera. I'm like, I appreciate you trying to help me, but this is not fucking working, you know. And it's like, and I know I'm like that in some ways. I guess I do have meticulous where I'm like, damn, this would be better if it was angles. You know what I mean? Like, you know, even when we're doing this, I'm always like, you know, how are we going to sit where we're all going to, I have to think about kind of those things, you know what I mean? But yeah, I would love to have a camera that roved around the room on us, you know what I mean? So I definitely get you. And I imagine in that process, you need your hands.
Oh yeah.
Both hands. So, you know, you've got to have that camera set up in the right way to get the angles.
And kind of like the way you guys hone your craft into, you know, verbally explaining things to people on your
the podcast,
your podcast, you know, I want to do it to a point where people completely 100% understand what I'm telling them.
Right.
You know, I don't just want to have my hand to the camera. You do this, and then you're done. You know.
Yeah.
The way I explain things in here is the way I want them to understand it. You know?
Right.
The memory in the paper, the types of paper, and everything that goes into it. You know?
Exactly. You know, it's so funny, man, because I hear so much about trades and things that people do that are going away.
Yeah.
Like alterations on clothing. Cobbling, like on shoes, like shoe cobbling. Yeah. The guys that do hats, you know, I didn't know that about hats. When you do a cowboy hat, you put it in that heat and you're folding, and you get it shaped. These things are going away. I really feel, and I hope if pressing is going to become a bigger thing, Gabe, that it's guys like you that are going to be doing it, because it's going to, otherwise it's going to need to be one of these really niche crafts where only a handful of people are doing it, that are doing it the right way, that are, you know, because it is, I mean, if I were to ask you, what would be a piece of advice you would give somebody that says, I want to start pressing? What would you say?
Take your time. You know, like I said, it took me 1.5 years before I got to the point where I was comfortable enough to do my books. And it wasn't just pressing the book. I wanted to be able to grab any book out of my collection, whatever age it was, and be able to work on it.
Right.
You know, so I would say if you want to do it, just take your time, you know, and really consider the liability when you're taking other people's books.
Totally.
You know, I have seen people who are like, look, I pressed my first book, you know, message me, I'll do yours. What are you doing? You know?
I mean, I totally think, I do not see it as something that you cannot do without lots of trial and error.
Like anything. You know, practice is going to get you better.
Right.
Do you want to invest the time, or do you want to rush it and just start making money?
Exactly.
There's
and I think that if you're in it with that mindset, then you're not in it for the right reason, because it requires such an amount of detail being applied and time and time. You've got to be willing to say, okay, I'm going to just let it in there for a little bit of moisture. Okay. Now, you know, this long period of heat, it's like, you know, that's a lot to do, whatever. And you've got to be willing to make people trust you. You know what I mean? Like, it's a huge investment. And people that love this shit, they love it. So it's like, these are sometimes like your babies, you know what I mean? Like, if I had the FF, you know, 48 and 49, if I had the Incredible Hulk 181, I'm really probably not going to let anybody touch them. You know what I mean? You know, but again, there would be a time that come when I'd say, okay, these need to go and get slabbed and protected all the way. And I want to know, and I want them to be the best. You've got to a little bit let go. But I mean, like, up until that point, you know what I mean? Like, I would imagine this is hard for someone to understand that is maybe an old school collector. And it's like, well, you know, I see everybody doing this grading.
What's in my book?
Right. Yeah. I see everybody doing this grading thing. I think I should do that because I'm getting older and I want my kids to have this stuff. But you know what I mean? You know, you're gonna hear these things and be like, what on earth? You know,
and I do hope it grows, you know, because the more people you have doing it, the more accessibility you have, and the more books that get done in the community as a whole.
Yeah, and you've got a bunch more higher value books out there, right? For you know, and again, I know if there's, you know, 1,000, you know, ASM, you know, number ones that are at 8s. I mean, it's like, you know, it's going to decrease the value because it's more accessible a little bit, but hey, you know what? At the end of the day, for me, it's about being able to have an opportunity to have it. If you want to, you know, own it, yes, of course, you hope that maybe somebody eventually gets something out of it. But if for you, it's just something you always dreamed about having, then it's more accessible to you. You know, so Gabe, you wanted to talk a little bit earlier. We had talked maybe yesterday, just a little bit about your way you kind of see the market trending and things like that and changing. Are there anything in particular about that maybe you see that's like, you know, you like, don't like, you know, watching, not watching? I mean, I know you said grading has obviously become very prevalent, you know.
I think there are a lot more people in it for, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with it. But there are people in it to make money.
Sure.
That's with any kind of collecting. That's why we collect anything. That's why we hold value in whatever we do.
Right. Even if it's sentimental value. Some things we have that are just for us. You know?
So at this point, you know, you've got so many. You got. Well, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You got way more people dipping their hands into boxes of comics that the availability to collectors and the ones that really wanted those books is shrinking.
Yeah.
You know, so I would say my advice is if, you know, there are books that are going to cost you regardless. But if you can get a deal on a book and you can financially afford it, you know, big or small, whatever it is, without hurting anything, do it.
Yeah.
Because I do see the market going to more to the graded side.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and if you've got the money to pay for graded books, great. Yeah. But if you don't, you really have to hunt for those raw books, and they're getting few and far between.
It's harder. Yeah,
it really is. Yeah. Yeah, I think we kind of saw that.
Every time I go to a show, it's just like, wow, that book is just like out of range now.
Yeah. Think about a few years ago when you would walk in and you'd see ASM 300s or Deadpool or Cables just up on the wall, and they were, you know, they weren't
$20 maybe at most.
$100 for like the highest grade copy they had.
Yeah. The one vendor that kind of shook me a little bit when I first walked in was that vendor at the right at Ekman's, that his whole thing was graded books. He had graded books in racks.
Yes.
It was racks of graded books. It was the long boxes were all graded books. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I never seen that before. I
didn't even look into it. I was like,
I was kind of scared. I was like, holy shit.
I passed.
You know, I did ask him on my way out about the Amazing Spider-Man 33 whatever, just as he was like, you know what, I had one, I sold it, whatever. Yeah. He was out of somewhere. His daughter was doing all of his stuff, and she gave me the email or whatever to reach out, because he was like, I may have it somewhere else, but I asked Rick for it too. Whatever,
for sure.
But you know, again, everyone kind of gave me crazy eyes. Like,
but the market is going that way. You know, it's either you get the book when it comes out or you pay after. Yeah. You know. That's
cool, man. Do you like that? I mean, like, that kind of keeps you in business, you know what I mean? In a way,
yeah, I do like it. I mean, it you know, there are sometimes I miss out on books, you know, but you know, it is what it is. There are a bunch of great books I do have, so I appreciate what I have, and you know.
Totally, man.
You get over what I don't.
You want them all, but you can't always get them all.
And then, you know, the thing too is like you know, when you hear the movie in advance, you're like, oh, fuck. Yeah, you know, it's like, shit, I got to really jump on it now.
Yeah. Who knew things like Eternals, Guardians? I mean, I never would have. No. I mean, you know, there was a time, like I said.
Like, even if they introduced Daredevil again, you know, it's like, oh, fuck, Daredevil and Spider-Man.
The spec market is so crazy right now. It's either you're ahead of the game or you get left behind.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The whole resurgence with that.
Yeah. Sure.
Man. Guys, we're just hearing right now. I don't know if it's picking up on the mic, but it sounds like a storm going on. So it's probably a cloud, you know, San Antonio rain pass over. But man, Double A, you have anything else?
How much do I
have? Let's see what we got here. Oh, we're good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, let's just kind of shoot the shit for a little bit.
Okay. Gabe, so when you're not pressing books and stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, what other Moon Knight stuff do you have? I know you have the Werewolf by Night, but you know. Like I said, that 70s run looks amazing. I thought about dipping my hand into those.
Yeah, the Sienkiewicz run is such a nice run.
Yeah.
You know, I love his covers. I'm still looking for that Moon Knight #1 where he's sitting on the throne. You know,
oh man,
I'm still hunting specific Moon Knight covers that I just love.
Who did that great run on him where? Finch, that's it. You knew what I was talking about. I was like, man, because he did some Wolverine, I think, too.
Yes,
and it was incredible, man.
Finch has that kind of McFarlane detail.
Yeah, that's the
grittiness
there.
The muscles, man, the way he makes the muscles look, and even how he would do the point on the moon. That's when I first was like, man, Moon Knight is such a good-looking character. Yeah. Oh, right, nice. Yeah. Oh man, that's nice. Yeah,
I love Finch's art. I think he's so underrated as an artist.
Me too. I think so too.
And I remember when he did some Wolverine. He did do some Wolverine stuff. If I'm correct, right? And I remember being like, man, that's a good looking Wolverine. So again, guys, sorry about the rain, or whatever. See, whenever I have Mario's guys on, we get weird weather, right? We had Mario on twice. We're dealing with the zombie wind, and then you know that day he was here, we had weird weather too.
Yeah.
Is there any other like big books that you're proud of, like Moon Knight? Like that's yours. What would be another one for you?
Of course, you know, the big blue chips like the Hulk 181. I do own one.
Wow, no shit.
Yeah, I've got a 7.0 that I got from Mario.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Signed by Roy Thomas and Ramita.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Damn.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah.
Now, these are your U books. You're not selling these. These are for you. These
strictly collection.
Yeah.
This one I actually got from Mario also. I actually pressed his book.
Conan,
oh, nice.
Conan issue.
I pressed his book for him. He sent it off. It got graded, and I got it.
you get a break on when you do the work, right, Gabe? At least I hope.
And then this one I actually bought raw.
That's a beauty.
Man, nice.
Tattoo still in it.
Nice.
You know?
That is a beauty because we're looking at an issue of Amazing Spider-Man number 238, graded a 9.8. Hobgoblin ripping the Spider-Man costume in half.
Yeah.
It looks so cool, man.
And a bunch of course, like I said, I'm a Spawn fan, so I've got the entire run of every cover, every variant that's ever been.
No
shit.
You bought all those. The issue, what was it? 300? They did like all the
17 covers.
All 17
wow.
covers.
I bought. I bought the gold and silver from San Diego. I got.
Oh damn.
Every variant that's ever been printed for that book.
That's a hardcore Spawn guy, man.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Do you have the one where it was supposed to be Miracle Man? I never found that one. It was like in the Curse of Spawn.
Oh,
he was trying to introduce Mike Moran, the Miracle Man, because he thought he owned the rights, and then it turned out he didn't own the rights.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, like he even sold a toy of Miracle Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, it looked fucking cool. I was like, I'm a big Miracle Man fan. Yeah.
Wow.
And he thought he owned the rights, and they told him, no, you don't own this rights. It actually still belongs to the original creator of Miracle
Which was the
Mick Anglo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Todd was really confused on that. Like,
yeah, he was. Everything, that whole thing is just really messed up. You know, and that's like one of my, like, I have Miracle Man 15 right there. That's like one of my all-time favorites.
I have the variant from Hughes, issue 12.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's nice. Damn, that toy sounds crazy. People, let's go.
It
for
does.
a crazy amount,
it looks
right?
great. Like if you look it up, like on eBay or Amazon, it looks great.
But
That's a great
I've collected all the unicorns for that run. I mean, 185, the Portasio sketch cover.
Oh, nice.
That's a grail for that run. Shit. You know, I mean, the last one I think sold for like $8,000.
Yeah.
You know, in a raw form.
That's crazy.
Did you get any of those signed? If you have a choice?
Yeah, I did. I did do the Todd signing. Was it the year before last?
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's pretty cool.
And I sent about 10 books. I did.
Nice.
You know, and they came back in great condition, and they're all for me.
And you're not gonna slap.
I love his signature too, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, great. He does it nice and big, and he does
and you can tell it's his.
Yeah, man, I pulled those covers pretty much because they were Todd, and I had them there, and you were like, "What do you got?" And you were like, "Oh, you got some good Todds." And I was like,
man, I was like really disappointed with Frank Miller. Like he does just like fucking
like a
what is this?
Yeah, you know, that's kind of an interesting question too. Not to kind of take us back into it, but is it additional or different care when there is a SIG on it? Can you still do your method?
You can still do it. Yeah, okay. I do it. It's a little bit. You have to be a little bit more careful with the water, just because you don't want the ink to be pulled off.
Right.
But you can do it.
It still can be done. Okay.
I've done
very cool. Very cool. You mentioned gaming earlier. What do you play? What kind of games?
Mainly Call of Duty.
Really Call of Duty.
Okay. You know, because you just jump on and jump off.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to make a commitment. You know.
I have to admit that's kind of one of the things. Like, you know, if anyone's heard me here, I talk about the Fortnite game a lot. I play with my nephew. Again, it's, you know, the kids like it, and I get why they like it. It's I get it. It reminds me of when we used to get together as kids and get in one room and play, and now you're playing with people online or whatever. The other day, my nephew didn't want to play. I played by myself a little bit with some other kid or whatever. I didn't realize it was a kid, so I could hear him talking in the background. And I was like, "Oh, this is like a little guy or whatever." But you know, we just play a little bit or whatever and got off. You know what I mean? And like you said, nothing to it or whatever.
Yeah, and you know, I love video games, and when I used to play, you know, when I was younger, it was start to finish.
Right.
I finished the game.
You're in it.
That's how I was. You know? And so like. Now I'm a little afraid to get into games just because I don't want to invest that time into it.
That's how I am. I would tell, you know, my girlfriend's kids are gamers. I would tell them that. I say I buy one game a year, guys. It takes me the entire year to play that game.
You know,
this last year, I didn't do that, and I have games there that I have not touched. So it's like it just sits there because
my son's playing GTA and just going around, you know, driving and shooting. I'm like, you don't do the missions?
Yeah.
He's like, why? So you can try to beat the game.
Yeah. Me and my nephew started Spider-Man at the same time. He finished like he's been done for like already like a year or whatever. He's like, "Are you ever gonna finish?" I'm like, "I'm kind of still just like web slinging around." Like I'm gonna finish it. But he's like, "Are you gonna start The Witcher? Are you gonna start Final Fantasy VII?" Because like I have them there. I'm like, when I'm done with Spider-Man, I will, but I'm not like too eager to finish Spider-Man yet. You know,
I'm the same way. It's like finish it.
Yeah,
I don't want to just go in and just do whatever.
No, totally, man. I get it. What are you reading comics? You still read comic books?
Man, there's so many books out there. It's
there
just hard
is.
to read
yeah,
I kind of gave up on it. Me and him started again, and I was just like, man, I don't like the direction this is going.
Yeah.
I was like,
And then if you find a book that you just kind of feel like you wasted your time on because the story wasn't right, you're just like, I'm not gonna read this stuff.
Yeah,
anymore,
you get turned off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quick to get turned. And I told him the last thing I read that was kind of cool, and I only read it because again, my nephew was the Batman Fortnite issue 3, which is him fighting Snake Eyes, which I don't know if they ever fought before in comic books, but they actually wrote it pretty decent. Like I was like, okay, cool. They had them evenly matched. That alternate cover was fantastic, where it's Snake Eyes behind him and he's down below. And I was like, here's two guys that is like, that would be a cool fight. And I'm like, wow, I don't know if that was a sleeper or if it was big or whatever, but it was a very cool read.
I think in today's world, I appreciate the art because I think today's art is so much more phenomenal than, I mean, the old stuff is classic. Don't get me wrong. But today's art is just amazing. It's amazing what they're putting on paper. And you got guys like Alex Ross.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, literally.
We were buying the timeless.
Every cover, every panel is a painting, and you can appreciate that.
Yeah.
We
were talking about that.
Yeah. So when I get into reading, right now I'm reading the Werewolf, the Tomb of Dracula.
Oh, nice. Cool. How's that?
The entire omnibus. I read it when I can. But because that story is so much more better than than today's writing.
That's when we go back to the same stuff over and over again. Like I love Garth Ennis, whatever. I haven't read a lot of his new stuff, but I mean, I'll go back to Preacher. We'll go back to The Boys. I'll go back to his Punisher run. He's my favorite writer. Definitely of comic books. Yeah, but maybe even like of anything. Excuse me, but that's why that's why guys like us reread Dark Knight Returns, reread Kingdom Come. We reread V for Vendetta, Alan Moore stuff, because we just read it over and over again. Exactly. Nothing's like that. Yeah, Killing Joke. You can read Killing Joke anytime, and it's such a short story.
And you find stuff now that's really good. Like I read the Wizard of Oz, Scotty Young when he was doing it.
Nice.
And I thought that was
very
great.
nice.
Okay. The art was also within the story, and it was pretty good.
Yeah. This last little run we did of buying stuff, me and Double A, it was like we were buying stuff. Really 4 covers, and I'd never been a cover buyer. I was like, no, it's got to be a good story, or I'm not going to buy it. Now I'll buy the good cover out of if there's multiple covers, but because I do love comic book art, period. You know what I mean? But I just see comics and I'm so in love with them. I bought these based on covers because I knew I'd seen them and I liked them, but I bought them based on covers. But I was never going to do that. It was always had to be a story. I'm always, reading for 10 issues. And it's so funny because I told him about that when, like I said, I sold that one collection, that big Wolverine run. A lot of it wasn't great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the Larry Hama stuff was great, but a lot of, it didn't really get kind of good against like that. Daniel Way took over. Yeah. But for a lot of it was kind of garbage time.
I think I kind of played the entire field. There are books. I mean, just in the 5 minutes we hung out digging for books, you kind of see like I'm still specking on books. Mm-hmm. I'm like, buy this because this person's in here. Buy this because
I love that. I love that.
So I'm kind of all over. I'll buy books because the art is just awesome.
Yeah.
Totally. I'll buy a book because it's a hard to find ratio, just because I know there's going to be value in it.
Right.
And I found it at a deal. I'll buy books because there's a first appearance or an origin or something in there that's of some kind of importance,
Totally, man. No, totally.
So I'm everywhere. People ask me like, what do you collect? I'm like, kind of a loaded question.
Yeah, kind of. It can be. I'm that way too. It's like figures, but it's like, not just anything. You know what I mean? Like I won't buy like every Star Wars that comes out. You know what I mean?
So what about you guys? Are you guys like collecting for value?
It was always just for reading.
Okay.
For me it was there was never any intention to sell whatsoever. The What If #1, I hunted that one down. Eternals, Daredevil, huge Daredevil fan. Tried getting every key Frank Miller piece there was. I love Frank Miller's run. Ghost Rider was another big character for me. Thor was another big character for me. Wolverine, just the dude, the badass, especially during Claremont's run.
So you got more like of an intrinsic value in your books. Like you like them for what they are versus what they could be worth.
Yeah, we're almost the exact same way in that sense. Because that's me too. I've always bought it for like this story. We'll sit around and talk about what we think is a cool story. Like that's one of the things I do like about TikTok now or like Instagram is when people will go into these little like breakdowns like in this issue, blah blah. Like like I said, I bought this issue where Superman and Batman go on a double date with Lois and Catwoman because I thought that was so just neat, like a neat little story, you know what I mean?
And then too, like with the artists, like Jim Lee, you can probably think of so many key Jim Lees. I got X-Men issue 5 because I just love the cover of that one.
That's the Omega Red.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's fantastic.
Most people probably would take, I don't know, what's a big Jim Lee? X-Men #1 maybe.
That one. I mean, people like the Batman stuff.
The Batman one. I mean,
people love that. Which it looked great. It looked fantastic. Batman looked better.
Frank Miller, I had him sign issue 4. instead of issue 1. Most people probably would just take issue 1, but I was like, no, I like issue 4 better. I like the cover.
He did a Punisher, I think, too. Punisher run too. Like
Frank Miller?
No, Jim Lee.
Oh yes, he did. The one where Punisher's like in the building, like that with the gun.
Yeah, he did pretty cool on that. And that's kind of too. You see his art evolve, right? You're like, damn, we saw Jim Lee come a long way.
Big time.
But yeah, man, definitely. That's like I said. That's one of the things Mario told me way back in the Collection Authority days when he was seeing what I was adding to my sub. Is he'd be like, "Oh, Chuck, you really like the stories?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what." I mean, I was like, "What are we doing? We're reading, right?" I was like, "I like the stories. The characters got to be interesting and taking in a good direction and engaging, whatever." I mean, no lie though. Everything I look around here, like in Double A's room in the studio,
these were all like super cheap when I was getting them.
Exactly.
Green Lanterns were super cheap. You know the New Mutant run that was super cheap.
And I'm sure there's stuff you bought because there wasn't first appearance, but it was cheap.
Right.
Like,
very cheap. Yeah. Like Deadpool had never been a favorite of mine. I was just like, you know what, it'll be cool to have it and complete the run. You know, I was a bigger Cable fan. Than Deadpool.
You know what's funny is Deadpool is one of my favorite characters, but I don't like Rob's art.
You don't like it? Wow. Okay.
Some of the stuff I think is okay, but I get it. You know what I mean? Like he did change too between the mutants.
He's gotten so much cleaner. I'm not a big fan of his cleaner work.
Right.
I like kind of like this work where Cable looks old.
This stuff, this was cool, but you know, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of hard on him because of today's art. You know, we talked about how amazing it is. You got Matina, Ross, you know, all these great artists out there who are still evolving and doing their thing at a different level. And then you see like a Rob Liefeld Deadpool just came out and he still can't draw shit. You know?
But it's funny though how a lot of people,
his proportions are still
a lot of people kind of copy this look. That's kind of what was weird, you know. But he always drew his characters. See, that's the other thing too. Like a lot of his characters always look the same. Like Prophet looks like like Shatterstar. You know.
And then when he later on, you know,
Supreme looks like Cable.
Captain America when Heroes Reborn, it was like, you know, you couldn't tell the big square jaw. It's like Hawkeye and Cap look exactly the same. You know, Clint Barton and Steve Rogers look. There's no differentiating. You know,
I don't know. To me, I guess I hold people like artists like him at a higher level, so you expect nothing but their best work.
Yeah, like Mario loves Turner. Like, that's like his guy.
Turner is great though.
He's fantastic. Yeah, his women are beautiful,
like
and
Mario
his guys
always
look cool
it's
too.
just like Turner. You know,
I was buying that Fathom book just for the art. Really, at that time, that story was kind of weak.
There's artists you knew you were gonna get quality every single issue.
Yeah,
totally.
You know,
and the issues were beautiful throughout. It was like an Alex Ross where it's beautiful throughout.
Yeah. Always.
But man, Gabe, well, I really appreciate you coming on tonight, man. It's been great having you. We're definitely not going to send you out into the rain. We'll hang out for a second here, but dude, it's been really awesome, man. Is there anything that you want to say to the listeners out there, the Friday Night Faithful, the Friday Nighters?
No, thanks for having me on. And like I said, I'm a lot more personal. You know, if you want to hit me up, I'll give you my number.
There you go, guys. You're hearing it from the man himself. You guys want to get comic books pressed and cleaned before you get them graded, or even just have in your collection, come and get with us and we will get you in touch with Gabe, no doubt. Other than that though, anything else? Double A?
Just guys, you know, if you know, think about it before you send out your comics just straight away. You know, think about maybe getting them pressed.
And sometimes
by professional.
Yeah, you come into a collection, and if you do and you want to know more about it and get it done right, you know what I mean? Like I said, hit us up and we'll get you guys in contact.
Even if you don't plan on reselling, you know, if you plan on leaving your collection to somebody, which will happen, you know, give them the most value that you can. You know,
we're all headed there.
We don't know if they're going to want to keep the collection or they might just want to sell it.
They're going to sell it.
You know, so at least help them out by, you know, making the book a little more valuable.
Yeah, you can't take it with you. Even ASM #1, you can't take it with you. Well, guys, before we go, I'd like to say something every time we come on here. If there's something that you want to do, a dream that you have, a hope, make something you want to make happen, guys, seize the day. Go out and do it. Look at Gabe, man. He didn't know he was going to be pressing comic books back when he started collecting, but he went out and did it, went from 1 press to 5 presses. Dude, what an amazing story. And you know what? As Cap says, and he knows it, you got to do whatever it takes. Guys, for us here, just another Friday night. And Gabe, it's been wonderful.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. And we'll see you guys next week. Good night. And let us get out of here. All right, guys. Good night. Stay safe.